This week, the action continues on Thursday Night Lights as the Antonian Apaches match up against the Boerne Greyhounds. Antonian comes into tonight's game running on all cylinders and look to increase their perfect record to 3-0. Boerne brings a high-flying aerial assault. Tonight, they hope to shut down their opponents at home and move up in the standings. Stay tuned for the area's best coverage of live high school football on TNL.
Live from Boerne ISD Stadium, it's Thursday Night Lights. Let's go, Greyhounds! Come on, Boerne! You got a hound!
It's time for Church's Chicken, Thursday Night Lights, presented by Baptist Emergency Hospital.
Welcome to Boerne ISD Stadium, where tonight it's the Boerne Greyhounds hosting the Antonian Apaches on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. And boy, do we have a matchup for you. Good evening, everybody. I'm Don Harris, along with my good friend Chuck McAtinnick. David Chancellor will join us on the sidelines. And when you talk about Boerne versus Antonian, this is a bit of a rivalry now. They've played some close games over the last 3 years. And Chuck, when you talk about the Apaches, you talk about a kid who ran for 29 touchdowns last year as a sophomore in Daniel Rosenfeld, but he's got to have the big uglies do it for him up front.
Boy, it really does. And if folks get a chance to watch number 61 tonight on both sides of the ball, Kyle Berger, 6'5", Lord only knows how much this young man weighs. He is an absolute load, and it's going to be really important for Antonian to possess the ball tonight and eat a lot of the clock, because the last thing they want to see is to have the Boerne offense on the field for a preponderance of the time.
That's right. Antonian is a running team. Boerne loves to throw it, and there's reason why. They've got one of the top quarterbacks in the entire state. The top number 3 recruit is at the position in the entire state. That's Quentin Dormady, recruited by Alabama, signed with Tennessee. And Chuck, when you look at him, you say, there's a potential D1 quarterback.
There's no question about it, Don. And this kid has grown incrementally as time has gone on through high school. When he was a freshman, he was just 6 feet tall. Now he absolutely looks the part. 6'4", 215 pounds. And as you said, not only recruited by Alabama, he's going to end up at Tennessee. There was a whole litany of schools. I can't remember when we had a quarterback recruit from this area as highly recruited as Quentin Dormady is.
Yeah, he's going to sling it. He's already thrown almost for 1,000 yards in just 3 games. But he may have a tough time throwing tonight depending on the weather. We've had some storms in the area. Let's see how it's going to be for kickoff. It's time for our Ewald Kubota Game Time Weather and Alex Garcia. Alex?
Well, Don, I tell you, it is going to be a perfect night for football, and I tell you why. Because we've got these tropical clouds sitting right here. That's knocking back the heat. Left San Antonio was 95 degrees. I get here, oh, nice, 88, 89 degrees. Perfect weather for football. Light winds coming out of here out of the east and northeast. Not a problem for passing, not a problem for running. The only thing we're going to be watching for, a little bit of rain, tropical showers way up to the north. Don't think they'll get here in time for the game, so let's play football.
It's football. We can take a little rain. Just none of that
I'm talking about
stuff in the skies. Hey, when we come back, we will have our Church's Chicken keys to victory. What do both teams have to do tonight in order to win this ball game? Chuck will break it down for you when we come back.
Tonight's game in high definition is brought to you by Medler's Jewelry on Blanco, just outside Loop 410.
Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. As we said, it's Boerne against Antonian tonight. 2 evenly matched teams, although they have very different styles. The Apaches love to run it, and of course, the Greyhounds love to throw it. Let's break down the Antonian keys to victory. Chuck McAtinnick. Chuck, I know they're going to do it on the ground for sure.
Oh, indeed, Don. Key number 1 is going to be keep the ball on offense. It's going to be very important for Antonian to do what they do best, and that's pound the ball and eat the clock. Secondly, they want no cheap TDs. On defense, they want to keep Dorpindy and company in front of them, and then they'll be able to win this ball game. And then thirdly, they want to be able to run the ball by committee because Rosenfeld is a tad banged up.
Here's our coach, Van Fushak.
Well, it's been well. Yesterday it rained. We had to go inside the gym, but the other two were very good. You know, we're playing a good team, and our kids, you know, enjoy the challenge.
Style, Chuck. What
try to slow the quarterback down some. Yeah, we got to blitz some.
Keep the ball and take care of the ball on offense, and also win the turnover battle. And then, secondly, they want to run the ball better this week than they did last week. Might be tough for them to do because they are infinitely banged up at the running back position. And then, lastly, they're an offensive-minded team. They like to throw the ball. They want to get some explosives.
Here's their coach, Mike Dormady.
Yeah, it was a good week of preparation. Last week we struggled a little bit at Marble Falls, so we went back to the basics, and it was important for us with a short week that we hit the fundamentals, and we just went back to the basics this week, and so I thought we were very productive for the short week.
We're back with our national anthem and kickoff when we come back. Welcome back to Boerne ISD Stadium. It's Antonian, it's Boerne. As you can see, they are ready for our national anthem, and to get this one underway, we hope the weather holds off. Right now, let's turn it over to our public address announcer. His name is Jason Brown.
Honor America with the singing of our national anthem by the Boerne High School Chamber Singers and Choir Council. American Guard, First Class Cadet Andy Morales. Texas Guard, Cadet Airman First Class Garrett Kirby. Texas Flag, Cadet Captain Andrea Gerner. American Flag, Cadet Captain Justin Ford. Please remain standing until the colors have exited the field.
All right, great job by the Boerne Choir and the color guard here in Boerne, Texas. Time to bring in the third member of our crew. Does such a great job on the sidelines all season long. That's David Chancellor. Chance, what's happening, brother?
Don, a couple of notes on the guy that you guys are going to be talking about all night long, and that's Boerne quarterback Quentin Dormady. Number one, I watched some YouTube clips of him this morning, a little scouting. It's about 4 minutes where he just threw touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, and not once, not a single time, did he move outside of the tackle. In fact, most of the time, it was a three-step drop, and he threw a bullet, a dart. The bottom line there is if Antonian doesn't pressure him, he will pick them apart all night long. Number two, I spoke with Antonian coach Van Fushak early in the week. I said, how do you approach it when you're playing one of the top recruits in the city? And he said, we embrace that. We tell our guys, he's good. He's really, really good, and we're not going to shy away from that. They want Quentin Dormady. Well, you know what? They're going to get him in about 45 seconds, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Dave. Boerne will kick it off. The Antonian Apaches will receive. Kyle Herbst is kicking it off for Boerne. Back to receive is Philip Guillaume. And we're going to see a lot of Daniel Rosenfeld. He usually returns kicks for them, but he's not in the ballgame right now. Nick Marin is the other deep back for the Apaches.
Yeah, Don, it's going to be interesting tonight to see which team handles the challenge of having a depleted roster best. Both of these teams are banged up right now, and it's at the point of the season where you've got to kind of overcome those things.
Time for our ironclad roofing kickoff, and we're underway. And it's going to be Nick Marin at the 5. Got a little bit of a gap right up the middle. He's brought down at about the 27-yard line, and that's where the Antonian Apaches will set up shop for the first time tonight. Their quarterback is Peyton Bryan, and he does not throw the football very much at all. In fact, he only has 14 attempts this year. He's completed 9 of those for a 64% completion rate. So when he does throw it, he's very good. He's got 3 touchdowns and no interceptions, but they love to run the football, and they're going to hand it to number 26 all night long. Daniel Rosenfeld, 36 carries on the year for 264 yards. But Bryan's going to throw on first down, completes it out of the backfield for a gain of about 5 yards. Isaac Holguin, the receiver. Colton Taylor brought him down. Want to keep an eye on Kyle Berger. We talked about him in the pregame show. He's a big load up front, and he helps block for Rosenfeld. Isaac Holguin, one of the favorite receivers when Peyton does throw the football, but number 26 is the guy that you'll see all night long. Shotgun formation. Here's Rosenfeld's first carry, and he's brought down for a loss. Gives you time to talk about our defensive lineup for the Boerne Greyhounds. Colton Taylor, number 27, has made 2 tackles in a row. Michael Souza is a big defensive lineman up there. He'll make most of the plays in the front. David Snelling is a great two-way player for Boerne. Played quarterback for them last year when Dormady was hurt. Also plays receiver. So keep an eye on him in the Greyhounds backfield, a two-way player.
Well, Don, we talked about the fact that Antonian's going to run the ball tonight, and what do on their first play? They throw it. So got a little bit of everything already from Antonian.
I formation on 3rd and 2. The hand is close to the first down, but it looks like the Boerne defense is going to hold. Ball went to Philip Guillaume. Jacob Rodriguez there on the tackle, and that's going to set up an interesting call, probably 4th and about 1. And it looks like Van Fushak is sending out his punt team.
Well, not the way you wanted to start. Obviously, you'd like to move the sticks. That was going to be one of the keys to victory tonight for Antonian. You want to try to keep Boerne off the field as much as possible with that high-octane offense that they have, the spread offense.
All right, Kyle Berger will do the punting. He also plays both ways. David Snelling back to receive as one of the Boerne receivers. Nice return right there for about 6 yards. That's Eli Davis. And that'll give us a chance to take a break. When we come back, we'll introduce you to Quentin Dormady and the Greyhound offense.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by the Law Office of Anna Laura Hesbrook.
Welcome back to Boerne ISD Stadium. The Greyhounds and Quentin Dormady. 1st and 10. He fires to Snelling. Snelling is tackled right there after a gain of about 4. But Chuck, this Snelling kid is going to be his favorite receiver, and is a kid who played quarterback when Dormady was hurt a year ago.
Yeah, he virtually lurched himself on a grenade, Don, for the better of the team. I mean, he was not a quarterback, hardly played any quarterback, but spent a lot of his summer last year, and Dormady was helping him learn the position, so those two got kind of close as he had to kind of step in and fill the shoes.
2nd and about 7 for Dormady, who fires. Got a man. That's caught. That's near the first down marker. And that's Eli Davis, another one of his favorite receivers. Let's run down that Boerne offense for you, and you'll see that up front you've got Hunter Griffith and Tim McCloskey They help protect the big 5-star recruit in Quentin Dormady, and he spreads it around. He loves number 2, David Snelling, number 6, Eli Davis, number 18, Cole Dunaway, among others. And when they do run the ball, Denver Finch can run it and catch it out of the backfield, and Aaron Bernal will be the guy to carry the football for the most part, but they don't run it very much.
And as we wait to see if this was a first down play, Don, we could tell you the fact that they might throw this ball even more tonight. Their first-string running back and their second-string running back are both down. They've had to move a linebacker in to play running back. So there's a good possibility that Quentin Dormady might be throwing every possession tonight.
Yeah, and he's, like you said in the open, 6'4" and about 220 pounds. When you look on the field during pregame warm-ups and you say, which kid out there looks like a college football player? He's that kid. And right now with 3rd and about 2 inches, with his size, something tells me quarterback sneak is not a bad call here.
No, and you talked about his height and his weight. Obviously, you can't coach the height, but he's really put the time in the weight room, Don, to make himself a D1 prospect. When he got to high school, he only weighed about 160 pounds. Now, as you said, well over 200 pounds, and he wants to be about 220, 225 when he steps on campus next year in Knoxville. So he's grown into this position, no doubt, even like we said, with having to sit out last year with an arm injury.
Yep, and he's going in January. He's going to graduate early in December and go on up to Tennessee next semester. 3rd and an inch for the Greyhounds. Dormady, hands, great penetration by the Antonian defense. And that's something when you run shotgun right there, you risk that. Connor Chappell with the tackle there. He's number 52. As you look at the defensive starters for the Apaches, it's the same thing as offense. Berger's the one to watch. Philip Guillaume plays both ways. He's the running back and the corner. And Ryan Leeper does it all. He'll return punts as well. He's very electric with the football. 4th and 2. Boerne will elect to go for it. Ball on, well, Dormady's going to punt it. He serves as their punter as well. Nice little kick, quick kick look for them. And he's going to put it inside the 20, inside the 15, and that baby may roll right down to the 9-yard line. So a nice call by the Boerne Greyhounds. When we come back, the Apaches will have their second chance with the football. It's 0-0 in Boerne, Texas. We're back in Boerne, Texas. That's head coach Mike Dormady. He's the quarterback's father. Coached at Coppell, Colleyville Heritage before that, and he's brought that Baylor run-and-gun offense to Boerne, Texas, and they're loving it. Right now they've got the Antonian Apaches backed up inside their own 15-yard line as Brian turns and pitches to Guillaume, who's got some space, fumbles the football. It's loose. Let's see who's got it. Boerne says they've got it, and they do. The official with the indication, and the Greyhounds are going to be in great field position, recovering on about the 19-yard line.
We talk about a big play early sparking your offense. You come up with a big play on defense. Antonian looked like they were going to move the sticks, get an early first down, which would have been their first one of the game. Instead, Boerne gets an arm in there. Number 17 comes flying in to make the play, and that's Hayden Lavada knocking that ball out. And then Boerne capitalizing, pouncing on the ball. And now Dormady and company in the red zone with a chance to get some early points.
Nathan Boggs with the recovery there. 1st and 10 on about the 19. Dormady changing the call. High snap, but he controls it. He's looking at the end zone. He's got a man and just overshot him. Intended for Snelling. And Chuck, when we talked about this offense, David Snelling has got 25 catches for 270 yards and 4 touchdowns this year.
Yeah, Don, it might be a little bit tougher to throw the ball going from right to left. The wind is blowing right into the face of Dormady and company, and that's a tough pass to make with the wind blowing right in your face.
2nd down, he fires left again. That one Snelling should have had.
And that one, Dormady turned the wind around. There was nothing wrong. No touch pass there. That was a P right across. You know, it was one of those hash marks to hash marks throws.
3rd to 1st, kind of.
He's got a big-time arm.
That's going to set up 3rd down and 10. Dormady on a slant throws into double coverage, and it was well defended there by number 42, Noah Burns. The one thing you don't want to be critical, but the one thing that the stats show about Dormady is for all his high recruitment, he does throw a lot of interceptions. He has 11 touchdowns this season, 7 Oskies. He completes a lot of balls, 57%, but maybe that's just a byproduct of putting it up so many times. They're going for it again on 4th down. And that was almost picked off by number 38, Mitchell Sparks, who again had great coverage on that slant play.
You're talking to Coach Fushak before the game. He feels like he's got some corners that can match up with these wide receivers. And, you know, we just watched a huge defensive stand there by Antonian. I mean, the other team gets a turnover and they're way down on your end of the field, and all you do is have everybody blanketed with the area's best gunslinger back there.
Let's head down to the sidelines and our David Chancellor. Chance, what's up?
I know it is your favorite part of the program. It's my man Matthew, who's solo, by the way, tonight. So without further ado, no hype needed. Take it away, my man.
It's Thursday Night Lights brought to you by Church's Chicken. Let's see some football, lots of passing, lots of kicking. We got specials on fried chicken and specials on fried fish, but my favorite still remains our honey butter biscuits. Honey, honey, honey butter biscuits. Honey, honey, honey butter biscuits. Now bragging is not cool, but Church's Chicken is the best. My nanny and my papa say it's better than the rest. Now stick with Mr. David and TNL Football. Got some Church's Chicken, you'll have the best of all. Church's Chicken. Have the love. Right, Dad?
The one and only Mike Sines. By the way, I got out of that bragging ain't cool. That's a hard act. That's like following the Beatles.
That's
Mike, what's going on at the Chicken Factory?
You know, I'm going to tell y'all, we have the special next Tuesday, and that's it, baby. It's 8 pieces of our delicious fried chicken, plump, juicy, the way everyone likes it, only $6.99. That's right, mixed chicken, $6.99. Next Tuesday, any churches, come and get it.
All right, guys, before we go, as Matthew likes to say, it's time for us to fly. Back to you guys.
All right, Dave, it's time for the Antonian Apaches to run. Nick Marin and Isaac Holguin with 2 big gains, and Chuck, as we said, it all happens up front. Right now, they're winning the battle of the line of scrimmage. Fake handoff as Brian turns and throws, has a man. Nice form tackle right at the 40. Stephen Wynn on the catch, Luke Kenshin on the tackle. But it's going to be a Don Johnson first down for the Apache.
And how about Peyton Bryan? I mean, we talked about they don't like to throw the ball all that much, but this kid had a 55-yard touchdown pass a week ago. He's 2 for 2 to start his night tonight, and not an easy throw. Rolling to his left, hit number 44, Stephen Wynn, as you said, and you know, Wynn's one of those kids that Coach really likes. I mean, he really likes his ability to be able to get downfield. He's got great hands. Got a chance to watch him warming up before the game. Big kid, too. So Antonian, you know, they're smashing it up early, but they're also dinking him down the field as well.
Van Fushak said when Brian does throw it, he'll throw it to guys out of the backfield. Good pursuit, penetration by the Greyhound defense that time as Aaron Bernal, 44, comes in to make the tackle. And Mike Dormady told us lots about Aaron Bernal, said he plays on both sides of the ball, and he's one of his big hitters and big playmakers. So for Antonian for the first time, little interesting play call here at 2nd and 12. They were moving the football on the ground, and I think they want to think about it. Van Fushak didn't like the call, so he'll burn a timeout, and we'll take it with him. 0-0 in Boerne between Antonian and the Greyhounds. Welcome back to Boerne, Texas. The Antonian student body. It looks like it's a Hawaiian theme or something going on with the Apache student body. Hey, we want to tell you about our CPS Energy Cheer Challenge. It's a new element to the San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge powered by CPS. 8 local high cheer squads are going to win the chance to cheer at the highest level, the Army All-American Bowl, or the local San Antonio All-Star Game, brought to you by San Antonio Sports and HEB. All that's going on January 3rd at the Dome. Voting begins today, so vote for your favorite cheer squad. You can do that also as well by visiting sanantoniosports.org/cheer.
Another strike from Peyton Bryan. That one goes to Noah Burns. And Don, Coach Fushak was telling us before the game that he felt like Peyton Bryan really needed to complete about half of his balls tonight for them to have a chance to win. So far, he's been perfect. I mean, that was nice. Nice pitch and catch between receiver and quarterback, finding the soft spot in the zone, and they've been pretty balanced on offense to start this game.
Also interesting, we have not seen Rosenfeld since that first carry.
Well, they said it was going to be running back by committee tonight because he is banged up.
Bryan rolls to his left, fires again, throws into double, almost triple coverage, and it's nearly intercepted. Dagan Hodges was over there. Jared Graybill on the coverage as well.
Yeah, that's one of those that could have served almost as a punt, Don. You know, 3rd and long. You really got nothing to lose by taking a chance and tried to thread the needle there, but it just didn't happen. Good coverage downfield by Boerne.
Kyle Berger will kick it away. Eli Davis is back along with Snelling. Always the danger here of kicking it into the end zone. Anything but the end zone is always good. Berger angles it towards the sideline, rolls it over with a spiral. Wow. It's going to be interesting to see where the official calls that out.
At the 1?
He's going to call it out right there at the 1-yard line. That was a gorgeous punt. I mean, that looked like it came off in his arm, a beautiful spiral, and they've got the Greyhounds pinned deep inside their own territory.
Man, he went Ray Guy on us. Oh, now one of the other guys is calling it a touchback.
Are they? I don't know how you make that call from where they're located. Let's head down the sidelines with David Chancellor.
You know, guys can't say this enough without the band. It's just guys running around on a field sweating. Antonian band director Joe Rodriguez. Joe, how long you been with the Apaches over there?
It's my 14th year.
It's still like excited like the first?
Like the very first game I ever went to as a freshman in high school. It's amazing. I love it. It's a passion.
Let me ask you about being on television tonight, Thursday Night Lights. Not just the football players, the band, the cheerleaders, the entire community. What's this mean for Antonian to be the first private school to ever be featured on TNL?
Well, it's fantastic. It's a great honor. Our principal loves anything that we can do like this here, and it's just fantastic. The kids were pumped. They're excited all day long talking about it. I don't think they studied very well in class today, so, you know.
Joe won't say this, but I will take that at Central Catholic. I mean, that's what they're saying at Antonian.
He said it.
Joe didn't say that. Joe, my final question, what do you got going for halftime tonight?
We'll be doing the songs from the musical Grease of John Travolta and all them other guys, and hopefully you enjoy it.
A little toe tapper. Back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, thanks, Dave. Boerne's going a lot faster now. Dormany with a couple of completions. That's his 3rd straight. That one caught by number 21, Denver Finch.
Don, you're getting a chance to see Dormany's arm strength. I mean, kid runs a dig route coming back to the ball, and I mean, it's delivered right on the money. You could see why there were so many schools that wanted a piece of this kid's action at the next level.
Greyhounds really upping the tempo. 3 riders split right. That's a Don Johnson first down. He's got a wide open man, and this might be 6. Eli Davis, touchdown Greyhounds. 60 yards. And there you saw the arm strength and the patience of the big Tennessee Vol recruit.
And you see the game of football. Dormany getting plenty of time to throw on almost every one of those plays during that series. A huge pocket to throw through. He just lays it up, and then just a great first move once the kid caught the ball. Nothing but green in front of him once he made that initial burst.
That is Eli Davis's 6th touchdown of the season. He leads Boerne in touchdowns. Came into this ball game with 19 catches for 297 yards. He averages 16 yards a catch, so he's their long play guy, and they just cashed in. It's 7-0. Greyhounds. Let's take another look at that, Chuck. And he had patience, had time, and when he had the crease, he just lasered it in there.
Now just your prototypical D1 quarterback, dropping back, feet look good. Elbow up nice and high when he delivers the ball. And again, Don, this is a young man coming off of labrum surgery. He dislocated his shoulder last year playing baseball, had to sit out his entire junior season. But yet, the talent level is there to a point where, you know, just about every school in the country wanted a piece of this kid. TCU, Okie State, Texas Tech, Kentucky, Indiana, Vandy, others. Texas was showing some interest in him. But it came down to Alabama and Tennessee, and, you know, he's the kind of kid, he wants to go and be a part of something that's on the rise as opposed to something that is more established. I mean, his dad has been a part of rebuilding programs along the coaching way. And, you know, especially at all these programs that he's been to, he's kind of seen what his dad's had to do, and he thinks it's going to be kind of cool to be part of something that's on a rise as opposed to something that's already been established.
Yeah, they're going to turn over about 52 of their 85 scholarships at Tennessee, a young team. And he wanted to go SEC all the way, it sounded like, after he got the offer from Alabama. That labrum surgery, how big time is the young man, Dormady? He went to Dr. James Andrews in Birmingham to do that surgery as the Apaches crossed the 30. You know, Dr. James Andrews, he's the guy who did Bo Jackson's hip. He's the guy who did Adrian Peterson's knee. They're not messing around when you send him to Dr. James Andrews. As we check out the UIW Smile Cam, I'd like to encourage you to get a degree of difference at the University of the Incarnate Word. A lot to smile about out here on a great night for football for the Boerne Greyhounds, up 7-0.
And you know how that all happened, too. A mutual friend of the family, Doug Hodo, who you remember from your Churchill days, was a baseball player there and at Texas. He knew Dr. James Andrews, and he was the one that helped facilitate that surgery. Yep.
Peyton Bryan running. Hodo's a Boerne Greyhound. He's got kids that go to school out here. Doug, of course, was everything running back and baseball player at Churchill. The leading hitter on the 1983 team with Roger Clemens that won the national championship. Hodo was a true freshman and led that team in hitting. Got a cup of coffee with the Atlanta Braves organization and now lives out here in Boerne, Texas. I grew up with Hodo. Boy, I got some stories I could tell, but I better not. We're on TV.
I got some stories, too, against on the baseball diamond. Mighty good baseball player. That team was stacked my senior year with Cody Carlson at short. Hodo on that squad. They were a really nice bunch.
Second down and 11 for the Apaches as they turn and pitch. Antonian, we said, would run the football tonight. You have to be impressed so far with the effort of Nick Marin. Not very big. He's just a junior as well. But he's got some speed, and he's been very, very quick to hit the hole, and he's doing a nice job running the football for Van Fushak tonight. Jacob Rodriguez with the tackle.
Yeah, not only that, Don, you know, that was the one thing Coach Fushak said he really had to change the culture when he got to Antonian. He really felt like this was not a physical football team. Now, just the opposite. I mean, you could see these guys are going to smash you up on every single play. They're going to be relentless. They're going to give maximum effort. And they've got some kids that can run the football. And as you've seen, I mean, they don't ask much from the quarterback in terms of throwing. They have tonight, and he's made a bunch of plays.
Yeah, he has. Marin's rushing for 8 yards a pop. They turn and hand it to him again, and he's got the first down. Nick Marin on 3rd and 2 picks up about 4. That's a Don Johnson first down, and the Apaches are moving the football. You know, Van Fushak, one of my favorite guys in San Antonio, coached for years at MacArthur. No matter what the talent level that he has, he always gets the most out of him. He's one of the most fun-loving guys in town. Kids love playing for him. He's equal parts, you know, big brother and disciplinarian. And, again, just has a legendary career in San Antonio. Has done a great job everywhere he's been. Bryan rolls left. He's been chased, and he's brought down for a loss. Aaron Bernal, again, 44, getting great penetration to get the loss for the Greyhounds.
You know, Coach Dormady was telling us in our coaches meeting earlier this week about make sure you keep an eye on number 44. And kid comes through, you got to give him credit. He wasn't blocked, but, you know, there's something to be said of being able to finish the play, and that was a nice takedown right there.
All right, so Antonian, who loves to run the football, is certainly in a passing situation here. 2nd and 15. They turn and pitch. Marin's got it, trying to get to the corner. Snelling's got him cut off. Picks up maybe 1. Nathan Boggs on the tackle.
That was a really good job initially by guys like R.J. Tuniyuka, getting out there and setting the edge. You just got to get it up there a little bit quicker, but not a huge gain on that play, but they've at least got it to within 3rd and 8.
3rd and 8 for Antonian. Again, another what you would think would be passing down for Peyton Bryan. And as we said, coming into this ball game, he'd only put it up 14 times all year. But with Rosenfeld, their star running back, injured with an ankle injury, he's going to put it up right here, and he just airmailed it, and it's picked. And that's going to be a pick 6. Jared Graybill, touchdown, Greyhounds. 51 yards, and he just read that all the way, jumped the route, and took it to the house. Nice play by Graybill.
No, it really was, and just a throw that was just a little too tall for his receiver, and got to give that young man all the credit in the world. He did not miss his opportunity when he had the chance. Ball kind of sails on him a little bit, and Graybill's off to the races.
Marin had the angle, but Graybill had the speed. And so Kyle Herbst will try to get the extra point. Good penetration by Antonian, but it's still good. And the Greyhounds lead it 14-0.
How about that? A little sophomore getting some game time, making a big play for his squad.
Here's another look at it. That was just telegraphed. And Graybill just saw it all the way, jumped the route, and off to the races.
And you see why the sophomore is up on varsity, because usually when you have a kid that young on the varsity, it's because the kid can run. And there was no doubt he got down that sideline awfully quick.
These two teams have had a great little battle the last 3 years. Antonian won a close one last year with about 30 seconds to go. Gives us a time to look at the Antonian schedule, what's coming up for them. They, of course, play in the TAPS in private school. They play the publics early, Jefferson and Holy Cross and Boerne tonight, South San and Schulenburg, and then they start their district against St. Mike's and Central Catholic, St. Anthony, San Antonio Christian, who's moving up in class from 3A to 4A in TAPS, and then Brownsville, St. Joseph's. And Antonian will certainly be a player in that district along with Central Catholic and San Antonio Christian.
And Don, this is a team last year that was second in their district and had a nice long playoff run, and then had Bishop Dunn on the ropes, and they had 6 D1s on that team last year. They had them down at halftime, and then they just got kind of out-athleted. But it just goes to show you the job that Van Fushek has done really in a short period of time, this being his 4th year on campus.
Yeah, he's done a great job. They've had some talent. Sterling Holmes, the running back, was fantastic for 3 years.
And it's tough to replace
Tatum, their quarterback.
Yeah, tough to replace the quarterback that they had. I mean, that young man's playing at one of the best baseball factories in the entire country at Rice.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you get a special athlete like that, it kind of makes up for a lot of different things that you may have going on in terms of roster and your depth. But you know, Antonian already off to a 2-0 start this year, and it's been a little bit of a struggle here tonight getting going, but I would suspect they're going to make it a game here before it's all said and done.
Herbst kicks it into the end zone. It's going to go out of the back, so Antonian will have it on the 20. Down 14-0 with a minute to go here in the first quarter. Nice breeze coming through here now. We're expecting we could have some thunderstorms and possibly some electricity. We're hoping that is not the case. Some dark skies off to the west, but so far it's just a nice breeze blowing, cooling everybody off, cooling the humidity down. It's a good night for football.
All right, let's see what Peyton Bryan can do on this series. Obviously, you don't want to hang your head too much. It's just one play. You're still in the first quarter. Still a lot of football left to be played, but you know, this is a young man that got his feet wet last year, and actually they're making a quarterback change.
Yeah, Bracken Garcia, who is their backup, who's had a couple of throws on the season, comes in. He hands off, and Bernie's read and run all the way. Bracken Garcia is 0 for 1 on the season. He's gotten a few snaps, but this is just good coaching by Van Fushek. When you make a mistake like that, you give the other kid a chance, and doesn't mean that we won't see Peyton Bryan come back, but it's fair coaching for the senior Bracken, who's been sharing some time with Peyton Bryan. Just because he's only 0 for 1 doesn't mean he hasn't been playing, because like we said, Bryan only had 14 attempts. They turn and hand that ball to Rosenfeld every chance they get. 2nd down and 7. This one's handed off, and slipping down is Colton Taylor. Again, one of those guys by committee. I'm sorry, Philip Guillaume. Colton Taylor made the tackle. Both of them wearing 27. And, you know, without Rosenfeld, let me just give you some numbers. Rosenfeld ran for 1,900 yards and 29 touchdowns last year as a sophomore. This year he ran for 204 against Jefferson. So once he's out, you got to give it to 4 or 5 different other guys to try to fill that void. All right, we're done with 1. It's the end of the first quarter. The Boerne Greyhounds 14, the Antonian Apaches nothing. We're coming back with a second quarter right after this. Welcome back to Boerne ISD Stadium, where the Greyhounds lead Antonian 14-0. Time for our JR's Plumbing first quarter highlights. This one's been all Greyhounds. The Apaches won last year. They were fired up, but Boerne's at home, and right off the bat, Hayden Lavada caused a fumble, and Nathan Boggs recovered it, and they went right to work. Dormady, the all-everything recruit, aired it out to Eli Davis. He scores to make it 7-0. And then defense taking over for the Boerne Greyhounds as Graybill picked it off and took a pick six to the house. Jared Graybill for a touchdown, and that's where we stand right now as we start the second quarter. Nice penetration by the Boerne defense. Michael Sosa, number 51, kind of their bell cow up there.
And that was just a super individual play, and it's going to bring up fourth down now, and all of a sudden, if you're Antonian, you know, you're reaching a critical point in this ball game. You start the game, you have a couple of early turnovers, and Boerne's able to capitalize on both of them, take them both in for touchdowns. So you're asking a lot of your defense when you're not moving the chains.
All right, so Antonian will punt it away. Berger will do those honors. And this is going to go off the side of his foot and out of bounds right at about the 35, 36-yard line. Or the official's going to come all the way up to the 40. And that's where Dormady will have it, trying to throw against the wind, I guess, or at least in the opposite direction, as it's kind of a crosswind. Gives us time to talk about the Vulcan Materials $2,500 band grant. You can help a local school take home with a $2,500 T&L band grant. It's based on votes. Your vote counts. Stay tuned to the halftime show for information on how to vote. The $2,500 T&L grant is made possible by Vulcan Materials. Dormady running for his life, completes it at the 50, knocked out of bounds. May have been a little late, no flag. Will McClure with the grab.
Dormady doing just a fine job making something out of nothing right there, avoiding the pressure, and Antonian's really done a good job living on the other end of the line for the most part tonight, minus a play here or there, but Dormady feeling the pressure, makes a play with his feet and then checks it down.
Dormady back to pass on first down, scrambling now and brought down maybe a gain of 1. Connor Chappelle with the tackle. Also helping out, number 60, A.J. Martinez.
Yeah, Kevin Justice also living on the other side of the line of scrimmage right there, but it's a nice push right now from the Antonian guys up front.
Boerne has slowed the tempo down a little bit, but they run that college spread where they get all their signals from the sidelines. You can see the coaches calling plays, changing plays. Dormady's going to explain it all to his offensive lineman. 11 to go on the play clock. On 2nd and 8. Wanted to go deep, now rolls right in pursuit, throws, and it's caught. First down, Greyhounds. A fantastic athletic catch by McClure again. Will McClure with a couple of back-to-back grabs.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, Don, what was better, the throw or the catch, and I think it's a tie. Look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, he just breaks outside again. The Apache's putting all kinds of pressure on him. And yet at the last minute just flings it downfield, and look at that. Kid got 2 feet in bounds and made the catch.
It's our Affiliated Mortgage first down here in the second quarter as Quentin Dormady looks to throw it again. Boy, he's got an arm. Fires complete right near the marker.
But now he has 122 yards.
That was to his favorite target, David Snelling.
And you just can't blink against this guy. Now they're moving the ball a little quicker, or they're going up with a little bit more pace. Defensive back kind of lost his footing right there, and that's one of the things that Dormady's going to do. He's going to find the weakness, and he's going to exploit it.
Short of the first down, 2nd and 1 for the Greyhounds. Dormady with 4 wide. Again, he fires, single coverage, hit the right guy, just a little hot and a little high, intended for McClure.
And this has got to be an advantage for Boerne, Don, in that I was walking around down on the field before the game, and this track, it's a little bit older. It's been kind of mashed down, and it's, if you can run and you can throw and you can cut, I would imagine you can have a lot of success moving the football on this track.
Van Fushak lost his play sheet in the wind. I hadn't seen Van move that fast in 15 years. Dormady on 3rd and short. Tell you what, Boerne's not going to run for it ever, but he does, and he picks up the first down. You know you're a passing team when you have 3rd and 1 inch and 4th and 1 inch, and you still run shotgun and throw it.
Well, we talked about their injury situation at the running back position, and you know it's going to be a challenge for Boerne if they don't get healthy at that spot. They may have to do exactly that. I mean, put the ball in your best player's hand. See if he can figure it out.
That's an affiliated mortgage first down. As Boerne moves right onto the brink of our Six Flags Fiesta Texas red zone. And that's a young man, Aaron Bernal, that we've called his name on defense. A.J. Martinez on the tackle, but Nick Cantu there as well. But Bernal, really great two-way player, tough physical linebacker and fullback.
And they've asked a lot of him. I mean, he's been primarily their linebacker, but when you got your first 2-string guys out, you know, you got to go with the guy that gives you the best chance to move the football.
1st and 10, Boerne. Dormady looks left, fires that way, and that one's picked. Antonian with a defensive play. Stephen Wynn, was it deflected? It may have been deflected right to him, but yeah. We'll take a break. When we come back, it'll be the Greyhounds ball. I mean, sorry, the Apaches ball in their own territory. Welcome back to Greyhound Stadium, where the Antonian Apaches have just made a great defensive play. Stephen Wynn sitting down in the zone and making the pick of Quentin Dormady, as both teams have had sustained drives only to turn it over in this 14-0 ball game.
Before the game, we were talking to Coach Fushak, and he said, keep your eye on 44. That kid can play, and he's already made a big one. And had a little miscommunication between receiver and quarterback right there.
Peyton Bryan back in at quarterback. He tosses to Nick Marin. Marin with a nice gain on the field, all the way down to set up a 2nd down and 1. Let's go down the sidelines and David Chancellor. Chance?
Yeah, guys, we're getting ready for halftime with the Boerne band director, Frank Foster, in his 6th year here with the Greyhounds. Tell me what it's like for you guys to be on TNL tonight.
It's very exciting. Our kids are looking forward to performing their show. We're doing our UIL show, Things That Go Pop, and we'll be doing our complete show today. So the kids are really excited. We just got, the district just bought us brand new uniforms, so we get to show those off. And so again, this has been something they've been looking for the last few weeks.
You look good, you play good. Now, you were telling me off camera, you had a very good season last year when you're talking about a band, either runner-up or won pre-UIL events, and then when it came to UIL, you got something called the superior rating.
Yes, sir, we did, and this year's what we call our state year. 2 years ago, we missed state by 1 or 2 spots. We're hoping to achieve that highest goal this year.
By the way, the band members for Boerne High School have been here since rehearsal or practice, if that's what you want to call it, since 7 a.m. this morning. These guys and gals putting in a lot of hard work. Be sure to check them out at halftime. By the way, guys, enjoy the warmth of the booth. The temperature's dropped about 20 degrees down here. Burr.
I wish that was the case up here. We're still hot and humid. Peyton Bryan with a loss on the play. Jacob Rodriguez with the tackle and the penetration. Hey, while on the subject of the Boerne band uniforms, I got to give the football team a big thumbs up with that gray on purple. That's a good look that Boerne's got going here tonight.
Well, good job by Peyton Bryan right there. I mean, you get the bad snap, and then don't do dumb and dumber, okay? You've already made a bad play, so you get on the ball and, you know, take your lumps and see if you can figure something out here on 2nd down.
Got a flag flying. Delay a game would appear to be the call.
Van Fushak coaching up his team right now.
delay of game called against the Apaches.
We'll take their word for it. So they'll back him up. Be second down and 28 for the Apaches. And yeah, Van, let's just say he wears his emotion on his sleeves, even if they're short sleeves.
Oh, he's always going to coach, you know, and these are some teaching moments. I mean, you want your team to play a little tighter than they have, and he's letting them know it.
Second and a country mile as Marin gets dragged down right at about the 15-yard line by Nathan Boggs. Tell you what, I'm impressed by Marin. He's a little guy, but he's got speed and he's got toughness.
Yeah, and I was impressed by Boggs right there, too. I mean, that was mano-y-mano, and didn't get a whole lot on that carry.
So that sets up, you know, just a play here where you just want to get something so you can give your punter a little more space.
Yeah, get it to one of your running backs on a screen or something. Maybe you can break it.
They'll pitch to Marin. He's going to have some trouble. He'll cut back against the grain. He's doing everything he can, but he's running out of space, and he's brought down back inside the 10. And Nathan Boggs there again to wrap him up. And Chuck, we can see the absence of Daniel Rosenfeld really starting to take its toll on the Antonian offense.
You know, when you remove a guy that's that big a cog in your offense and a guy that you lean on that much and a guy that's been so big a part of your offense for 2 years, yeah, it can be really tough, but, you know, hats off to the young man. He's trying to make a play, trying to make something happen on 3rd and forever. Just nowhere to go.
All right, so Kyle Berger will punt it away, standing in his own end zone. Snelling and Eli Davis. Davis with the catch almost simultaneously. The tackler was there for Antonian. That was Mitchell Sparks. Boerne lucky to keep it. They're on the 40. We'll take a break. When we come back, it'll be Greyhound football. They lead 14-0. Welcome back to Boerne, Texas. Smile Cam brought to you by the University of the Incarnate Word. Earn a degree of difference at the University of the Incarnate Word. The Boerne cheerleaders with more to smile about right now as the Greyhounds lead Antonian 14-0. Quentin Dormady, the Tennessee recruit quarterback, looking to throw the football, rolls to his right, unloads it, and it's incomplete. Intended for Eli Davis on the near sideline. Chuck, you can see this, Dormady has a lot of poise to go along with that big arm.
He does. And how about the speed of Brandon Latham, 75, tracking him down, making him run for his life.
Second down and 10 for Boerne. Dormady drops straight back and fires, and that's caught. McClure across the 25, inside the 25 to the 24. Another strike by Dormady, and McClure has 3 catches on the night.
And you see Antonian trying to mix it up. I mean, they're playing zone, they're going man, they're trying to give Dormady a bunch of different looks, but this kid's pretty much seen everything. And you know, I got to give it to Antonian. Their defense has done a pretty nice job when their offense hasn't put them in a bad spot.
That's a affiliated mortgage first down for the Boerne Greyhounds. As Dormady fakes the throw, hand, and throws it to Snelling. Snelling's to the 20. Snelling to the 15-yard line. He's dragged out of bounds inside the Six Flags Fiesta Texas red zone by Noah Burns.
Yeah, and Snelling doing a lot of that himself. I mean, that didn't look like it was going to go for very much. And he made a couple of moves, got outside, and he turned probably a 1-yard gain or a no gain in a gain of about 8 or 9.
So Dormady looks to the sidelines to get his play, as he is now 10 for 17 on the night for 147 yards and 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Play clock's at 2. Snaps it, throws the slant, caught and drilled. Antonian's Noah Burns laying the wood. And if we have a collision of the game later, that might mark the tape, as they say.
Denver Finch took a shot at the end of this play, but to that young man's credit, man, he hung in there. He knew he was going to get hit. It's just tough to catch the ball when 42's putting his helmet right on it.
Yep. Denver Finch couldn't hang on to it, so it's 3rd and 2. And Dormity's going to fire it. It's picked again. That one is deflected. Eli Davis making the tackle on Mitchell Sparks, and Mitchell Sparks, right place, right time off the deflection.
How big has Antonian's defense been in this ball game? I mean, that's 2 huge turnovers now on back-to-back drives, keeping their team in it. Right place, right time.
Again, when you have injuries and you have absolutely no running game, to call a passing play on such short yardage, you put yourself in those situations. The high end zone shot coming from a 43-foot scissor lift is provided us by Contractors Building Supply. They have a wide variety of available equipment. They deliver. Give them a call, 210-496-1227. Contractors Building Supply, they'll take care of you. 496-1227. Antonian with a short gain getting you back to the line of scrimmage. Sets up 2nd down and 10.
I know they had the turnover, Don, on the one pass, but, you know, at some point you're going to have to put it back up in the air. I mean, Boerne is absolutely selling out on defense to stop the run. You know, Antonian's just going to have to make a play throwing it.
Pitches to Marin. He does another good job of finding his way through traffic. Let's go down to the sidelines, and David Chancellor. What's up, Chance?
Hey guys, I thought you might find this interesting as the viewers as well. When Dormity threw that last interception, he threw it right in front of the Tennessee head coach, Butch Jones, who is here. You guys have talked about here to check on his prized recruit, is what we'll call him. What's interesting about it is Coach Jones watched Dormity walk off the field, and my guess is he wanted to see how he handled adversity, see whether or not he showed what kind of emotion he showed. And Dormity, I would think, passed with flying colors. He met his coach, they talked, he went to the sidelines, and he'll get ready for the next series. That's what a Division I quarterback does.
Wow, impressive. Butch Jones is in the house.
You know, a tough game the other night against Oklahoma, but you can tell that Coach Jones is doing the right things up there at Knoxville. And that's a young team. I think he'll be one of those guys that turns a once-proud program into the mighty Tennessee Vols again.
Yeah, you think he's got like a swag copter like Kevin Sumlin? You think he landed his chopper here in Boerne, or did he have to fly into San Antonio International?
Some tells me he's a little bit more low-key. Building that house one brick at a time.
Nick Marin on the carry. Jacob Rodriguez on the tackle.
Peyton Bryan, nice there on the previous play, picking up a first down with his feet. You know, this kid's got surprising speed. Coach Fushak said he wasn't sure what he had. He was the backup last year. They've given him the keys to the car this year, and he's a little quicker than Coach Fushak thought. And I think he looks good throwing the ball, too. For somebody that doesn't have to do it a lot in this offense.
I tell you what, Nick Marin is getting plenty of work tonight. He stopped short. Jacob Rodriguez again with a tackle. We've called Jacob's name a lot tonight. That'll set up 3rd and about 7. We've got 1:18 left to go here in the first half, and that brings us to chance to tell you about the San Antonio Sports All-Star Cheer Challenge powered by CPS Energy. As I told you earlier, 8 local high school cheer squads will get the chance to cheer on the highest level of the high school football, U.S. Army All-American Bowl, or the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game presented by HEB. That's Saturday, January 3rd at the Dome. Voting begins today, so register your favorite cheer squad. Make sure they're registered to vote. Just visit sasports.org/cheer. That's sanantoniosports.org/cheer. Every Thursday night, we'll announce the leaders in the cheer challenge. 14-0 our score. Boerne Greyhounds over Antonian. Contrast of styles here in Boerne. The all-pass Boerne Greyhounds against the all-run Antonian Apaches, and Antonian's got it right now with 1:18 to play in the half. Their quarterback, Peyton Bryan, lined up in the shotgun. Boerne going without their all-everything running back, Daniel Rosenfeld. Bryan runs for his life, and he's sacked. Getting in there to make the play is Colton Taylor. And I believe we have a flag on the play, and you can see the preliminary signal is holding against Antonian.
Holding called against the Apaches. Penalty declined.
And Boerne is going to take a timeout.
You know, Don, it's just so tough to throw the ball down the field when the other team's getting pressure up the middle on you. It's just awfully difficult on the quarterback when you've got guys in his face and he's trying to look downfield to find somebody to throw it to.
Yeah, very, very difficult. They just don't do it enough to do it with consistency. They've built their offense, their offensive line around Daniel Rosenfeld running the football because he was a sophomore that ran for that. And Peyton Bryan's doing the best he can, but they don't pass block a lot. And you see also just lost his footing there on that turf you talked about earlier.
Yeah, and it's tough too if you get pressure from the outside as well. Got to protect the guy calling the signals back there and give him a chance.
So the down marker was wrong. It's 4th down, and Berger will punt it away. Eli Davis back. Now the flags fly again. There is no
flag on the play.
I know Dormany would love to get a chance, get this ball back with about a minute to go. Going right towards his future coach in Butch Jones, would like to make up for that interception as Berger's punt is high. Boerne's going to let it bounce. He gets an Antonian roll right to midfield, and that's where Dormany and company will take over. 1:02 left. The Greyhounds lead it 14-0. Gives us time to check out what the Greyhounds have coming up. Taking on Antonian tonight. Been playing them for 3 years now. Kind of a very disappointing performance last week at Marble Falls, and after Antonian, they travel to Sonora, take on Taylor, Fredericksburg, at Liberty Hill, Bandera, and Canyon Lake are in their district.
Yeah, Don, talk about murderer's row. I mean, they're playing in this new district, and Liberty Hill, Canyon Lake, Bandera, lots of good playoff teams from a year ago.
Dormany throws into traffic, and Snelling just can't hang on to it. That was a BB.
Man, you're not kidding, man. That was a lightning bolt. I mean, that was a big-time throw right there.
Noah Burns on the coverage to break it up, but, man, you're right. If it was a lightning bolt, we would have a 20-minute delay. I've been briefed on that.
I don't know. Did somebody take one of those with those flash meters?
It was a laser beam. Holy cow, was that a good throw. Dormany back to pass, fires again, has a man. That's underthrown and almost intercepted. Again intended for Snelling, but right on top of him was Mitchell Sparks, who already has 1 pick tonight.
But see, that's the thing, Don. He has those tools that you can't coach. You know, you can't coach 6'4". You can't coach the arm. He's worked like crazy on his feet. But, you know, even his dad said that he showed some skills when he was in middle school, but he wasn't the biggest kid. He was a little bit of a late bloomer, but all's well that ends well.
Yeah, he certainly has all the physical tools as he completes it to Snelling, who's got space. Snelling trying to get outside, gets to the 40 and gets out of bounds at about the 38-yard line for an affiliated mortgage first down.
Oh, what a nice play call there. 3rd and long, and you go with a little bubble screen. Get all the defenders upfield, and then you hit them underneath, and a nice play to get outside and get the sticks.
Yeah, you can't coach the physical gifts that this young man has. And if you're Butch Jones, you like seeing him struggle a little bit because it shows you what you can coach. I mean, he's got to make better decisions, and he's got to, you know, learn to not throw into triple coverage. He's thrown 8 interceptions now this year, but that can all be fixed. 6'5", 220, can't. That's Only the good Lord can give you that. He's got it, so Tennessee's going to be glad to work with him.
Yeah, and you know, he does have the physical gifts that you can only get from one place, from the man upstairs. But again, this kid's put in the time, too. I mean, he's chiseled his body out. He's worked like a beast to get to this point. And, you know, he certainly hasn't lucked himself into this situation, especially having to rehab and, you know, coming off a torn labrum surgery.
Interestingly enough, he did not injure it throwing. Sliding back into first base, he jammed his shoulder into the bag trying to get back onto first base. You would think a baseball player, a quarterback throwing the football as much as he does, he would hurt it in a throwing injury.
Yeah, sometimes you get that awkward baseball movement of just, you know, lunging for a bag, sticking your arm out, and you never know what can happen. But Dormady also showing you that you don't see anything downfield, you can also tuck it down and pick up a sizable chunk of yardage.
He won't be playing baseball for Boerne in the spring. He's going to enroll early, as I said earlier, at the University of Tennessee. He's got 3rd and 7 here. Fires across, looks to fire across the middle. Now he's going to run. Flags fly as he gets the 20 and gets out of bounds for what would be a first down, but let's check the penalty. Usually this is a hold on the offense. And it looks like they're bringing it back.
They're waving the flag off.
So it's going to be an Affiliated Mortgage first down.
And how about the pocket presence there? You know, I think for young quarterbacks and inexperienced quarterbacks, when you're feeling pressure coming from the outside, there's a tendency to go backwards. But really nice play there, stepping up. And then again, taking off and getting a nice chunk of yardage with his feet.
Showing a little speed as well. 1st and 10. As Dormady looks to the sidelines to get a play. "17 seconds left in the ball game, so the Greyhounds want to get a couple of plays off here. Straight drop, and he's sacked. Great penetration by Brandon Latham. He's an all-state performer by the Apaches, and it comes at just the right time for Latham.
Indeed. I mean, you know, Don, we talk about, you know, this football game being 14-0, and you think, well, Boerne's just gone up and down the field, but heck, they've gotten a defensive touchdown. I mean, you really have to tip your cap to the entire Antonian defense. I mean, they're getting pressure up the middle, and their DBs are doing a nice job covering those receivers.
You know, Boerne's had a lot of opportunities to score and make this a much bigger blowout, but the Antonian defense has made 2 great defensive plays coming up with interceptions. They've come up with stops. They bend, but they don't break, and right now they love nothing but to get off the field here clean with 8 seconds to go. Interesting to see if Dormady decides to try a field goal if they don't get something here with 8 seconds. The way he's been coaching tonight, you'd think he'd throw it with 8 seconds and throw it with 2 seconds. Especially with that wind, I wouldn't blame him. I mean, I wouldn't try to kick anything with this wind.
How they're going to do just
Here
that.
Here we go. Wind's blowing about 25 miles an hour crossways. Ball's got plenty of leg, and it's good.
How about that?
Kyle Herbst splits the uprights with 2.8 seconds to go, and the Greyhounds add to the lead 17-0.
I was watching Herbst before the game, and I was amazed. Actually, both these kickers have got really good legs, and I mean, yeah, he's got the wind at his back, but I mean, trust me, this kid was killing it during pregame too, so he's got a nice leg.
He just drilled it right down the middle.
Well, that's a lost art, seemingly at every level, finding a kid that can kick the football through the uprights.
It's interesting how they recruit those kids too. The camps that kickers go to are a lot like quarterbacks and receiver camps, and you don't necessarily want the kid with the big leg. You want the kid who kicks 12 of 12.
Not only that,
25.
and you know, finding the kid that can long snap and do that well.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get yourself a free ride doing that. I mean, the kid at Clark is one of the best long snappers in the entire nation.
Really?
Oh yeah. We've got quite a few good long snappers in the area. So yeah, that's one of those things you kind of take it for granted because, you know, at the pro level they make it look so easy, but Well, I'll tell you what, if you don't have it at the high school level and the college level, it can be glaring.
So we've only got 3 seconds to play here at halftime. Don't forget our halftime show coming up. We'll feature both bands, something we do here on Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Love to feature not just the football programs, but the spirit groups as well. And so impressed with the talent at the high school band level, year in and year out. We're going to see 2 good ones tonight, including the Greyhounds, as you see right there, who are sporting their new unis. They feel like $1 million.
Yeah, they're pretty looking sharp tonight.
Herbst will kick it away. Got the wind at his back, as you said. Marin's going to take it right at his goal line, back up. And he's dropped right at the 5-yard line. And that's going to take us to halftime. Number 23 for Boerne. We need to call that young man's name, Tristan Ruiz, with a great play. And the Greyhounds have the Moog as they go to halftime. They lead Antonian 17-0. We'll be right back with the halftime show.
Welcome to the Bauman Automotive Halftime Show.
Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. Time for the Bauman Automotive Halftime Show. First up, the proud band of the Antonian Apaches. Let's listen in.
Tonight's performance was choreographed by Coach Drea Pena. Good luck, ladies, and your music is on. Four-time national champion Antonian Silver Dancers. Thank you, ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, while the band takes the field, let's give a cheer for our own Antonian Apache cheerleaders. The cheerleader of the week is Trinity Lind and Lorena Navarro. Welcome to the Antonian Apache Band halftime show, featuring the music of the musical Grease. Tonight the band will perform Grease Lightnin', followed by Born to Hand Jive, featuring the Apache Color Guard and the ACP Twirlers. Our drum major is Senior David Menchaca, and our assistant drum major is Junior Jacob Mendiola. Our drumline captain is Junior Tony Ramirez, and the assistant drumline captain is sophomore Devin Valdez. Our featured twirlers are Marcy Gutierrez and Julia Salzman. Our color guard captain is Mary Elena Martinez, and our assistant color guard captain is Rica Ray Amaro. The band members of the week are Abraham Ibarra and Devin Valdez. Please enjoy the show. Drum major, you may begin.
Great job by the Antonian Apache Band tonight. If you want to vote for them for our $2,500 TNL Band Grant, text Band 7 with no spaces to 45203 for Antonian. We'll hear the Bernie Grant Band when we come back, and you can vote for them as well. We're going to hear from the Bernie Band right after this.
Welcome back to the Bauman Automotive Halftime Show.
Welcome back to our Bauman Automotive Halftime Show. Bernie leads Antonian here at the break. Great job by the Antonian band, and we're going to hear from the Boerne Greyhound band. But first, it's time to recognize some hardworking kids with tonight's Scholar Athlete of the Week, sponsored by San Antonio Sports.
Ask both Darla Deckard and Daniel Rosenfeld how they find the time to do all that they do, and you'll get very similar answers.
I had to do homework on buses, at away games, at home games, staying up late.
My teammates and my friends make fun of me because I'm the one doing homework before practices. I'm the one doing homework while I'm getting my ankles taped. I'm doing homework every time throughout the day.
Tough to say whether Daniel Rosenfeld's a better student or a better running back. Ranked second in his class, on the field, Rosenfeld led all rushers, private and public, with 1,900 yards last year. As a result, both football and academics are high on Daniel's college checklist. Purdue has expressed interest.
If I have a great opportunity to play football, I'll play football. But I'm also looking, obviously, for the academics. So I'm trying to find a school that will provide both academics, the right academics, and good athletic program, football program.
Daniel is vice president of the Antonian student body and an active member of Holy Spirit Catholic Church. Like Daniel, Darla Deckard also spends much of her free time serving others. A volleyball standout, it was a project she took on with her basketball team, Heartland, that left a lasting impression.
It's pretty much a home for them to be, for they're loved until either the end of their days or they're adopted by another family. And we raised money for them and got donations for during a basketball game, and it was really amazing. I think we raised $1,000-something. It was really awesome.
Also ranked second in her class, Darla plans to pursue a degree in chemical engineering. Columbia and Texas A&M are her top two choices. For both Darla and Daniel, just because their journeys are far from over, doesn't mean there's no room for reflection.
It's very nice to be able to say that you've done it, because when you have so much going on and you keep straight A's, you just feel like I'm kind of on top of the world. Even though it's just something small, it kind of prepares you for your future, and that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah, I can't thank God enough for it. I'm so blessed with all my brains in my athletics. I can't thank God enough for what He's given me.
Boerne's Darla Deckard and Antonian's Daniel Rosenfeld. This week's San Antonio Sports Scholar Athletes.
Great job, two great kids there. Congratulations to both of them. And now it's time to take a look at this week's Texas High School Recruiting Spotlight.
This is Barton Simmons with 24/7 Sports, and I'm here with your 24/7 Sports Recruiting Spotlight. Tonight we're talking about L.G. Williams. He's a quarterback. He's out of Steele High School in the San Antonio area in Texas, and he is a 5'9", 193-pound dual threat quarterback. Now you notice that height and weight. It's not ideal for the quarterback position, but I'm here to tell you I've seen this kid throw in person on the camp circuit, Elite 11 regional events throughout the spring and summer. He spins it incredibly well. He's got an accurate arm. And while he is athletic, L.G. Williams is one of the most talented passers in the state of Texas. Right now, his recruitment is down to a commitment at this point to Texas State. Now, he's not going to get the major offers because of that limited size and height. Teams are taking a chance on some players that have that limited height. And L.G. Williams is a kid that has certainly proven worthy of that opportunity. And I think he's going to be a good one at Texas State. LG is ranked by 24/7 Sports Composite as the number 1,633 player in the country. He's number 140 in the country at his position, and he's ranked number 206 in the state of Texas. This is Barton Simmons. This has been your 24/7 Sports Recruiting Spotlight.
LG Williams doing a great job. Steele, the #1 team in the San Antonio area. They're actually playing tonight in Waco at the Baylor brand new stadium, McLean Stadium, against DeSoto. So we'll try to update that score for you. But right now it's time to listen to the Boerne Greyhound Marching Band. Let's listen in. Great job by the Greyhound Band. If you are interested in voting for the Boerne Band, text Band 8 with no spaces to 45203 for our $2,500 T&L Band grant.
Welcome back to the Bauman Automotive Halftime Show.
Welcome back to Boerne, Texas, where the Greyhounds lead Antonian 17-0 at halftime. It's been all Boerne. We'll show you how it happened with our JR Plumbing highlights. Boerne's defense came out and got the job done early. Antonian fired up after winning last year's game. Defense caused a fumble early, and then Quentin Dormady went to work. He hit Eli Davis for this 60-yard touchdown. That made it 7-0. And then the defense comes through again. This time it's Jared Graybill with an interception to the house, 51 yards. But Antonian, Chuck, has played some good defense as well on the all-everything recruit. A couple of picks by Steve Wynn and Mitchell Sparks.
Don, for as much as we ballyhooed both of these offense, and rightly so, the defenses have been unbelievable tonight. I mean, Antonian has been backed up. Their defense has most of the night, but they've made a couple of big plays and have kept their team in it.
All right, here's a look at our halftime stats. It's 17-0. And rushing yards, Boerne only has 20, but that's to be expected. They just don't run the football. Total yards, all Greyhounds 180 yards to 61. They lead in first downs. There's been 2 turnovers on each side, and penalties not an issue tonight.
No, Don, and again, you know, we've talked about Boerne and their explosive offense and how they like to spread you out and go up tempo, but that's a pretty impressive first half they put together on the defensive side of the ball. To allow a team like Antonian only 61 yards of total offense, that's getting it done.
Daniel Rosenfeld, the all-everything running back for the Apaches, again had 29 touchdowns a year ago and 264 yards on 36 carries coming into this ballgame, but he only played 1 play, and he's got an ankle injury, and he has not been back. We'll see if he comes back in the second half when we come back.
Thank you for watching the Bauman Automotive Halftime Show. Stay tuned for the second half kickoff.
Welcome back to Thursday Night Lights in Boerne, Texas. The Boerne Greyhounds lead the Antonian Apaches 17-0 as we get ready for the second half kickoff, and that brings us time to bring you our ASCO collision of the game. Brought to you by ASCO. Clinton Dormady threw it over the middle. We called it the moment it happened. Noah Burns of Antonian with the hit of the night, and that's our ASCO collision of the game. Diego Valdez will kick it away for the Apaches. Eli Davis ready to receive along with David Snelling for our Ironclad Roofing kickoff. Davis is going to watch that one go through the end zone, and Quentin Dormady and company will take it over on the 20. You see those orange jackets on the sideline, far right-hand side of your screen. That's Butch Jones, the head coach of Tennessee, if you're just joining us. And if you're just joining us and haven't heard about Quentin Dormady, he is the recruit. Now you see Butch Jones in the background with that orange jacket on. He's the head football coach at Tennessee, and number 12 is his prize recruit out of Boerne, Texas. Already signed. Will start to go to school there in January. Chose Tennessee over Alabama, Oklahoma State. Houston was the first school to offer him. He had just about everybody. And he's going deep on first down, and he's got a man, and that ball is almost intercepted by, it wasn't Noah Burns, it was Stephen Wynn on the coverage. Intended for David Snelling. And they're letting it fly on first down, Chuck.
Indeed they are, Don, and into a gale force wind now with this front moving in, and Boy, can't say enough good things about the job Stephen Wynn has done tonight. Big kid, athletic, got a great pair of hands on him too. He plays tight end on the other side of the ball. One of Antonian's best athletes for sure.
So Dormity's got 2nd and 10. Straight drop. Running for his life, showing some speed. Dormity across the 35, across the 40, and gets out of bounds for a first down.
So disconcerting if you're a defensive line. I mean, they did everything but get him on the ground that time. Big push from the middle, the outside, and just number 12 making a play right there. I mean, there was all kinds of traffic in that backfield. He found a seam and then beat him with his legs. How many times have we said that tonight?
Yeah, Don Johnson Realtors first down. That's the most athletic play he's made tonight. Has trouble, keeps himself. Gonna run right over the little guy and picks up another Don Johnson first down as Andrew Martinez tried to come up and make the tackle. And if you watch this play on replay, Dormity, his eyes got as big as saucers when he saw about 5'9", 145 waiting for him. He said, okay, you want some of 6'4", 215, I'm gonna run you right over.
And he did a really good job holding on to that ball to the very last second, because had he handed that ball off, Antonian would have stopped it cold.
Yeah, good vision on the play to change it. Jet sweep coming this way. Jerry Graybill's popped by Antonian's Brendan Rominger. Eli Davis came on the sweep. Rominger laid a lick on it.
Boy, did he ever, and he came from an awful long way to make that play. From the other hash, Don, he was on the far side of the field. Nothing but hustle and getting over there in time to make that play virtually no gain.
2nd and 11. Boerne with a 17-0 lead. Dormity looks left. Now zips one on an out route, which is caught. And getting out of bounds is Alex Ramsey. His first catch of the night.
We talked about at the beginning of this game how thin Boerne was at the running back position. They've got a couple of wide receivers out too, so you're going to be seeing some of these young guys that are having to step up, and not a lot of depth at that position for Boerne, but guys that are growing up quickly.
3rd and 3, fires over the middle, caught! Down to the 10-yard line. Eli Davis, and that is the arm that Butch Jones loves to see.
And I mean, Don, into the teeth of a very, very strong wind. I mean, it's just, there's just some things you cannot coach. I mean, that was a big league throw right there, and we've seen it at least 2 or 3 times tonight where, you know, you just don't see many guys back there that have this kind of ability.
Fastball right down the middle. Dormity's going to keep it himself, trying to get to the corner, and does. Touchdown Greyhounds. Quentin Dormity makes it 23-0 Antonian, and the young man came out, maybe twisted an ankle or something right there at the end of the play. He looks like he's going to be okay. He's going to run it off, but he came out on a mission on that drive to start the second half, Chuck.
Yeah, and you know, I think it was George Allen that once said the first drive of the 3rd quarter always sets the tone for the second half, and I thought it would be really hard for these guys to throw the football into this wind, but I guess not. It went right down the field like you know what, through a goose.
Quentin Dormity leads Boerne to a touchdown, and the Greyhounds lead it 24-0. 10 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter.
Tonight's game in high definition is brought to you by Medler's Jewelry on Blanco, just outside Loop 410.
Welcome back, Chuck. Here's the play. That's not the play we wanted to see over the middle, but that throw also shows his arm strength. And then Dormity may have rolled his ankle at the very end of this play. He's fine there. And then he comes up lame. Did he hit the track funny? Couldn't really tell, but they're retaping that left ankle.
Yeah, hard to say, but man, he's got really long cheetah-like strides when he decides to tuck it and go, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's faster than I thought he was, and faster than he looked in the 1st quarter as Nick Marin fights his way to the 23. I thought in the first few possessions that he was kind of a lumbering quarterback and that maybe he was all arm and didn't have wheels, but he's proven as this game goes on that when pressured and when he takes off, he can run.
No, he's got good feet. I mean, he's got all those measurables that you want, the size and the speed. And, you know, just talking to Coach Dormady and Coach Fushak, you know, Coach Fushak said he's been coaching for over 30 years. He's never had a quarterback over 6'1". But Coach Dormady said he's had plenty of quarterbacks that were 6'1" or below that should have gotten D1 opportunities, but because they didn't have the measurables, never got their chance.
Yeah, well, he's got all the measurables. I think they say he's 6'4", 215. Noah Burns, intended receiver there by Peyton Bryan. So many times you're recruited now in these passing camps, and Coach Dormady said that Quentin was recruited basically off the tape of his sophomore year, that he never really attended many camps. He did go to the Tennessee camp, and they saw him there, and obviously they liked what they saw. But a lot of schools offered him sight unseen just off his sophomore tape because he didn't play last year.
Oh, nice run.
Very nice run. Getting the corner is Philip Guillaume. Guillaume has 2 touchdowns on the year. Coming into tonight, only had 11 carries, but for 49 yards. Because coming into tonight, Daniel Rosenfeld got all of the carries just about for the Apaches. But again, Daniel Rosenfeld, their star running back, out tonight. Had 1 carry early in the first half. And then that ankle is just probably just too sore for him to go, as that is an affiliated mortgage first down. Pitch to Nick Marin, who's been tough all night, but he was drilled right there by Aaron Bernal and also Jacob Rodriguez, who, boy, Jacob's made a lot of tackles tonight, Chuck.
No, he has, and these guys have really been flying to the football tonight. And, you know, I think some of these guys remember last year's game. They had to lead the entire game, and then Antonian snatched victory with, I think, 7 seconds left to go in the game. So they're looking for a little payback here because Antonian's got the best of them the last 2 years, although both games were very, very close.
2nd and 5 for the Apaches. And it's Marin again, who's very shifty. Great run. That's Guillaume, number 27. Denver Finch made the tackle, but well, let's head down to the sidelines and David Chancellor. Chance, what's up?
How are you, Don? This is Steve Mann, the Director of High School Programming for TNL. It's a real fancy title. This is what I'm going to call him. He's the godfather of Thursday Night Lights, not in San Antonio, but in the United States. Steve, welcome back. We met last year. Good to see you back in South Texas.
It's always good to be back in San Antonio, Dave. What you guys do here with Thursday Night Lights, you all do it literally better than anyone in the country. And we're in markets as far west as Las Vegas and Reno, Nevada, and Fresno, California, as far south as West Palm Beach, Florida, Charleston, South Carolina. But in San Antonio, your all's commitment to the schools, it's just tremendous, the effort, and really you do make it a true community event.
That's a kind compliment. This is not just, and what we try to do, what our company tries to do is not only focus obviously on the game itself and the athletes, but the band, the cheerleaders, the pep squad, the mamas and daddies, everybody that goes in to putting high school football on. How important is that, and does that kind of live up to your vision of what this is supposed to be about?
It's what we're really all about, Dave. We want to be about the community. We want to take high school football and from that platform create a community event. We actually last year in our different markets through our scholarship program gave back over $100,000. So it's important for us to be a part of the community, to give back to the community, and really use all the different shots y'all have, the cheerleaders, of the band, of the fans. Y'all really do bring in everybody to be a part of Thursday Night Lights.
I know obviously you're all over the country. There's some great talent in the markets that you were describing here, but we have the head football coach of the Tennessee Vols on the sidelines tonight. I know you spoke with him. I don't want to ask you to divulge any top secret information, but how excited was he to be here and kind of see maybe a quarterback from Boerne High School?
Yeah. I think he's hoping that he's watching the quarterback of the future for the Tennessee Volunteers, Dave. And he's done a great job. I mean, he's already just running for a touchdown just now, up 24-0. He's looking very good in front of his future coaches.
Steve, always a pleasure.
Dave,
we try to live up to the standard, and thank you so much for all you do for high school football, and who knows, maybe high school basketball at some point as well in South Texas. Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Dave. Peyton Bryan airing it out for Philip Guillaume, and he almost had him, Chuck. That was a gorgeous throw. I think if he didn't have that 20-mile-an-hour wind behind him, it would have been perfect. And Guillaume, with a burst of speed trying to run it down, really showed off He could be a center fielder.
No doubt. And, you know, just Antonian, you're looking for any kind of a break or a spark, and that could have been a big play. And then I think, you know, a few plays previous, it looked like there should have been a pass interference call. So not a lot of things going Antonian's way right now.
All right, so Antonian will punt it away. Kyle Berger will do that. Eli Davis has been back along with David Snelling. This is Davis. He avoids a tackler at the 30. Flag flies, may have had an illegal block.
I think that was an easy one to call right there.
Chuck, you threw your flag from up here.
I did. I threw it 3 plays earlier on the pass interference as well.
Illegal block called against the Greyhounds.
So they'll back him up, and we'll take a break. When we come back, it'll be Boerne ball. Greyhounds on top, 24-0.
When life hits too close to home, we surround ourselves with friends we can lean on, family we can trust. At Baptist, we're more than emergency care. We're compassionate care for life's journey. Never too far away, always close to home. Prescribing hope that keeps us all moving at the speed of life.
If you're going to do the job right, you need the right equipment. ASCO makes sure you get what you need. You start with rugged case equipment. And ASCO's 24/7 service guarantee is backed up with one of the biggest service fleets around. So your case equipment is always running right. Yes, sir. They've got you covered. And ASCO's genuine case parts and service make it happen. If your business is building Texas, ASCO is going to keep you going.
Welcome back to Boerne. A lot to cheer about here for Greyhound fans, and they're smiling on the UIW Smile Cam. Earn a degree of difference at the University of the Incarnate Word Smile Cam, presented by UIW. Having fun in purple here tonight. Quentin Dormady and his Greyhounds backed up on in their own territory, and there's a run play, believe it or not. Cross the 20. We said if there were going to be running plays tonight that Aaron Bernal would be carrying the football, and there you go. There's your one per game.
Well, they're down to their third string running back there, but unbelievable blocking up front from guys like Bo Moyer, Nathan Hastings. I mean, you could have driven a truck through that hole. I mean, good job up front.
Dormady on first down, fires the out route. That's complete to Snelling, breaks a tackle and gets down near the 40-yard line. Was he down? I thought he was down. Good hustle by Bernal to be on top of it. And Chuck, this couldn't happen better right now for Dormady, because he's throwing these laser beams right in front of Butch Jones, and Butch Jones is getting to see the strength of this kid's arm. He's getting to see his wheels. He's getting to see him play against the wind, make good decisions. There's Bernal again on another carry, as Boerne may decide to run a little clock here. Brandon Latham making the tackle. Brandon Latham of Antonian, as I said, an all-state player. As Bernal taps his helmet, he wants out. A little tired.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job. You know, he probably didn't get a lot of reps at that spot, but he's been thrust in there because of injury.
Second down and 7. Straight drop for Dormady. Has a man going deep for Snelling. Oh, and Snelling just had it go through his hands. Wow. That one should have been caught, and Snelling laid out for it to make the great effort, and it just couldn't quite come down with it.
Well, Dormady has certainly picked up his game as this thing has rolled along, and I can't even begin to tell you how hard a throw that is with the wind blowing right into his face. I mean, he put that in the only spot he could have.
Right between the arms.
Yeah, it would have been a fine catch by that young man, but again, just a good placement on the throw. He's got the accuracy too. You know, that's what a lot of coaches at the next level are looking for. That's a hard thing to coach.
Third down and 7. He's looking left again, shows his speed again, gets to the corner and ducks out. Right about the 43, but we haven't seen the Greyhounds punt very much in situations like this, and they may go for it on 4th and 6.
And it looks like they will. Of course, Dormady also can punt it. He is their punter. He did this once before, and now he looks like he's going to do that again. Dormady with the quick kick. That one has a chance to roll down a long way, but Marin takes it at the 15, makes a man miss, has the 25, has the 35, and he's pushed out of bounds.
Nice little return right there.
Very impressed with Marin. Despite his stature, he's been an electric player to watch tonight. Tim McCloskey makes the force out. Hey, I also want to tell you about our CPS Energy Cheer Challenge. Told you about this 3 or 4 times tonight. Voting begins today. Go to sanantoniosports.org/cheer. You can make the dreams come true for 8 local cheerleading squads who have the chance to perform on national TV on NBC with the Army All-American Bowl, or on our San Antonio Sports local high school all-star game the same day on January 3rd at the Alamo Dome. Cheer squads earn points by your vote, so vote starting today. Bryant throws it. He's got a man. Complete down all the way inside the 40-yard line is Stephen Wynn. Peyton Bryan with a strike.
I've been impressed with him, too. I mean, again, they don't ask him to do much in terms of throwing the football, but when he's thrown it, you know, he had the one errant pass that went for the pick six the other way, but he seems to be really good outside the pocket, and when he's moving his feet, I mean, he's put some balls right on the dime. And then 44, man, what hasn't that kid done tonight? He's been on both sides of the ball doing it up.
A lot of two-way players for these teams and some really, really talented athletes tonight. Full house backfield as Bryant turns and hands. Connor Shackles with the carry. Remember, after the game, we'll hand out our player of the game, and we're going to hand out the championship trophy to our team of the week. And our trophies are provided by our friends at Monarch Trophy, the awards leader since 1972. They were custom designed by Monarch Trophy. If you're looking for trophies, plaques, or custom engraving, call Monarch at 210-344-3777. There's a pitch to Shackles again. Wow. And he shows some power. I'll tell you what, the running backs for Antonian aren't very big, but they have big hearts. They run hard.
No, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, that kid was just taking on guys and rolling right over them.
He's only a sophomore.
You know, they've had to go by committee tonight because of the injury situation. And, you know, this has been really their first sustained long drive of the night. So, you know, maybe he's starting to show some signs of life, and who knows? Get yourself a punch here and maybe see if you can't claw your way back into this football game.
Antonian trails 24-0. We're in 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Peyton Bryan hands the Shackles again and sticks his head down and picks up another couple. Enough for a Don Johnson first down.
Don getting a chance to coach with both, or talk with both of these coaches this week. I mean, I really enjoyed my time. Normally we're just, you know, 15 minutes or so getting some updates and away we go. But Coach Fushak, Coach Dormady were great this week. I spent about an hour on the phone with each one of them. And you can really tell that Coach Fushak is enjoying his second career now that he's over at Antonian. Had a great time. And he was almost, what, about a quarter century at MacArthur High School, but loves the kids, loves the parents, loves everything that the school's about. And, man, that was a big hit. But he really enjoys coaching these young men, and he says it's just, you know, it's as good a group of kids when you talk about the work ethic and the desire that he's ever been around.
Colton Taylor and Cole Dunaway, or sorry, Jacob Rodriguez there. Yeah, Van, he's one of my favorites, as we said earlier. Of course, you can't have a 15-minute conversation with Van Fushak. If you say, hi, Coach, what's happening, it's 30 minutes before you even get to ask the next question.
Right.
I'm just playing Van.
And really, you know, how cool is it for him? You know, he's got Blake and Bryce, his two sons, helping him coach, and both those guys were over in the Northeast School District as well. So I'm sure, you know, at this point in his life and his long coaching career, to be able to share some of this with his two boys, I mean, that's got to be pretty cool and much of a thrill for him as well.
Yeah, and like you said, it's new life for him, you know. These coaches that coach at the public school level for so many years and then basically retire and then go into coaching at a private school where they don't necessarily have to teach anymore and just coach football. When we were out there earlier this week, Van was cutting the grass. He was riding the John Deere cutting the field. And he just really enjoys being around kids and being around the game.
He's done a heck of a lot and really coached some great ball players over the years, too.
Took a couple teams to state championship games.
Just think of some of the kids he's coached, too. I mean, Jason Morrow now playing in the NFL, second-round draft pick of the Jets. And remember Matt Esquivel back in the day, the running back that could do a little bit of everything and ended up getting drafted in the 5th round by the Braves.
Jason Washington, who was all everything both ways and went to Southwest Texas and played at Texas State. And then now Jason's in the coaching ranks. Fantastic student athlete.
You know, you talk about the knowledge that you get from these guys, you know, as you go to college and maybe you don't get to play at the next level, but some of the wisdom that gets passed down, and, you know, what a treat for these young guys to get to play for these coaches.
Rashad Mabry went to Oklahoma State, came in and played for UTSA now. All right, Antonian's trying to make something happen. It's 4th down. We'll see what happens when we come back.
Closed captioning for tonight's game is sponsored by the Law Office of Anna Laura Hesbrook.
Welcome back. It's 24-0. It's also 4th down and 8 for the Boerne Greyhounds. I'm sorry, for the Antonian Apaches. On the move here with 2:21 to go. And this is really, really key play for them. They're going to run a reverse. Trying to get outside and get to the corner is a speed demon, and he may have just gotten there. And that's Matthew Tabbitt. They spot it enough. I think they're going to measure.
Wonder what page of the playbook that one came from.
The last one.
It was nice. You know, they could have just gotten one more block. He would have gotten it for sure, but a nice individual effort there running the football has made this thing awfully close.
I can't. I think that's a 1st down. I'm not sure the stick is where the ball's supposed to be.
Missed it by that much.
Not much.
That's been that kind of night for Antonian, huh?
Well, it wasn't because of a lack of effort by Matthew Tabbitt. That young man saw the stick and he tried to get there, and may have, if we had replay, that might have been a 1st down. He extended the ball, and they marked it where his knee went out, and it's supposed to be where the ball is when his knee goes out, and I think they missed that one. 1st and 10. Boerne's got it. Bernal's got it, and flags fly as he gets near the marker.
There's just got to be something a little disconcerting when you got a linebacker running the football, because he's going to run the football like a linebacker.
He does. He's looking for contact. A.J. Martinez on the tackle, but they're going to bring that one back.
Holding called against the Greyhounds.
Holding call. And we've seen Boerne have some penalties that back them up into their own end, and last couple of times we've been in that situation, it's been no problem. They get right out of it because of the arm strength of Dormady. 1st and 19. The tall athletic quarterback is rolling right. He's got a man, finds him. Complete and diving over the 20-yard line is Bernal.
Again, that was just another nice play call right there, too. I mean, you had 3 guys vertical going deep down the field, and then just dump it down to your check down guy who picks up some nice yards.
We're talking about Doug Hodo earlier. He just stopped by the booth. That's hilarious. Dormady running for his life, gets out of bounds. It's going to set up 2nd down. Chuck, you and I are about the same age. We graduated high school 82, 83. we look 50. Doug Hodo still looks 19 years old. What's the deal?
That's the same thing with Cody Carlson. He shaved his head, and now all of a sudden he just looks like, you know, I don't know what the deal is, man. I get this, the tough, hard lives that both of us have led. Life's wearing us out.
All right, 3rd and long. About 7 for the Greyhounds. Antonian may have jumped. Dormady, patient, fires, caught, first down. Snelling dragging a tackler with him across the 35, and another big-time throw. And Chuck, we've had more electric players on Thursday Night Lights. The kid from Brennan earlier this season, a lot more athletic, but you see, I guess a coaching connoisseur sees the talent that this kid has, and it's really most of it in his right arm and his decision making.
Yeah, and he stands tall in the pocket. I mean, that last throw, Kyle Berger, 61, got right up the field, and there's just no flinch. I mean, he doesn't move. He's looking downfield. That's where his head is. He seems to be able to feel the pressure from the outside without necessarily turning his head. He's just one of those kids like Robo QB. You know, he's got a lot of different intangible things working for him that a lot of kids just don't have, and feel for the position is obviously one of them.
Yeah, you talk about different styles of quarterbacks. You know, for instance, Johnny Manziel, RG3, those are not your prototypical quarterback. This is young Tom Brady. This is young Peyton Manning. He's a tall, prototypical NFL-style offense quarterback who can just sling it. And we're seeing that tonight. Fires over the middle there. That was high. Sailed it over the head of Eli Davis.
And you get the feeling, too, just watching him, he thinks in his own mind there's not a throw on the field that he can't make, and he's proven that he can make all those throws. I mean, that one looked like he threw a little bit off his back foot and still threw a missile downfield.
And almost to a fault. Some of the interceptions that he's had is because he's trying to just thread it into double coverage. But he's a high school kid. He's going to learn, and they'll coach that out of him. But, I mean, he does not lack for talent. He thinks he can put it in any window.
Oh, but again, too, he's working with, you know, a lot of different wide receiver combinations and a lot of guys that are banged up. So, you know, there's an adjustment on the other side, too, with guys going down and trying to catch the football. But nothing wrong with that pitch and catch.
Another strike right down the middle of the plate to Blake Barton on the slant. And that's going to bring us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Our score, Quentin Dormady and the Boerne Greyhounds lead Antonian 24-0. We'll tee up the 4th quarter when we come back. We're ready to kick off the 4th quarter on Thursday Night Lights. Time for our JR's Plumbing highlights. Boerne Greyhounds dominating this football game. Quentin Dormady doing it with his arm and his feet. Young man has lived up to his hype tonight, scoring a touchdown right there to put him up 24-0. He wants to fire over the middle and does, and has Davis again. And Chuck, really the velocity and the accuracy are the two things that stand out right off the bat. He has been a surgeon here since calming down after the 1st quarter.
Well, like we said earlier in the game, his dad, Mike, said that he saw some great qualities from this young man, even as far back as middle school. But, you know, he's developed, he's gotten bigger, gotten stronger. And Coach Dormady says the best thing about coaching this young man is I haven't had one person tell me the only reason why he's playing is because he's your son. I mean, everybody sees it.
Look at that throw. That is a big-time throw right there. David Snelling with the catch.
You know, and Coach Dormady says he's hard on his kid, and he's hard on all of them. He wants them all to be better, and there's no reason not to be. He wants everybody to take what they have and be better by the time they leave the program. And so, you know, he's not going easy on his own kid just because it's his own kid. I mean, you had to have coached this kid up in order for him to have gotten to this point.
Antonian was playing zone, put it right in that window. He scrambles to his right, has a man caught, touchdown, Greyhounds. I think he had one incompletion on that drive. Quentin Dormady leads the Greyhounds to another touchdown right in front of his future coach, Butch Jones of Tennessee. And with 11:08 to play in the ball game, Greyhounds are getting ready to go up 31-0 on the Apaches.
Well, if you wanted to throw rocks at this young man in the first half, I mean, he's come out to start this second half, and I mean, he's just been absolutely unstoppable. Not that we were throwing rocks at him to begin with. I mean, we've been talking about him all night. But you're getting a little sense why. 31-0 Boerne, fourth quarter.
.11:02 to play here in Boerne, Texas. The Greyhounds beating Antonian 31-0 right now. Quentin Dormady with another touchdown pass.
Now we got to see another part of the arsenal there, Don, throwing while he's on the move, and nothing wrong with that pass right there for 6 more.
20 of 33 on the night for 294 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just putting up numbers. 4-yard touchdown catch right there by Eli Davis as the Greyhounds kick off, and that will bounce through the end zone.
How are you getting a cramp tonight? Nice and cool.
It is.
He maybe
nice
not cramping. He's just he got kicked in the calf down there.
Mike Dormady, the head football coach at Boerne, had a lot of things to say about not only his own son, but this entire team. David Snelling, who was really proud of, who played quarterback a year ago when his son was hurt. But once we started talking about the recruiting process and kind of the things that his son has gone through with the torn labrum and bouncing back, I think, Chuck, he was a little surprised. He sounded a little surprised at the growth spurt that his son had. And you've talked about it right now, but it's one thing to grow in height. It's another to put on the weight that he has. And as we looked at him in pregame, I mean, he's a grown man out there playing with boys. And it's something that these coaches in camps notice. You're not in pads in these camps, these passing camps. And he obviously looked the part. Houston, the first team to offer him. Alabama came on, and once they came on, everybody came on, including Tennessee. And as you said, he liked the future prospects of what's going on at Tennessee. And oh, by the way, they've had a couple of pretty good quarterbacks. One of them, number 18, who had a pretty good career in the NFL, and Peyton Manning.
Yeah, it's interesting, Don. You know, he talking about his own son. He said he wasn't always the fastest, not always the strongest, didn't always have the greatest arm in middle school. But then, yeah, you start to grow, and you just don't know what some of these guys are going to do once they start growing. I mean, he started high school as a 6-footer. Now he's 6'4", and we talked about the weight. And so, you know, that's the great thing, and I was talking to Coach Fushak about that. He loves the fact that you get these kids, some of them as little boys, and they come out the other side as grown men. And, you know, sometimes you don't know what you're working with when you have freshmen and sophomore, and then there are those guys that make that leap junior and senior season just because they grow and they get stronger. And I think that's one of the big thrills that both of these coaches get out of doing this, is that you get to see little boys become men, and you get to grow up kind of with them and see that growth, not only, you know, with the physicality and maybe the arm strength or some of the physical attributes, but, you know, spiritually and mentally, and what these guys end up doing when they leave.
It's also an interesting dilemma on a recruit like that to graduate early, not graduate with your class and move on to the next level over the Christmas break. Corey Robinson from San Antonio Christian did that at Notre Dame, played immediately as a freshman for the Irish. Malcolm Brown, on the other hand, when he came out of Steele as a state champion, as Eli Davis breaks it across the middle, and Eli Davis still on his feet, still cutting back, got speed, and he's brought down. A great play by Antonian's Isaac Holguin, who came up to bring him down. Nice play by Eli Davis, and even better play by Holguin to come through and not let him get the other corners. It looked like he could have turned it.
You know, you're taught when you get this ball on a punt, you know, you're trying to break it outside, but he obviously saw something, and man, I'll tell you what, he was one guy away from possibly getting another 15 or 20 yards on that thing.
That high angle right there, brought to us by Contractors Building Supply. They provide the 44-foot scissor lift. We're using that in the end zone tonight. They've been with us from year one on TNL. Give them a call. Great guys. 496-1227. Contractors Building Supply.
And Don, I think the one thing that Coach Dormady said he was surprised at is the fact that, you know, most of these kids, if you're a quarterback, especially at that position, you're already recruited, you're already signed, you're already sealed and delivered and all that. And then he was shocked that there was this much attention for a guy that was coming off a major shoulder situation. You know, you have your labrum torn on your throwing arm, and you know, he went to the best of the best in Dr. James Andrews, but there's been no setbacks. And I think that's the thing that shocked Coach the most, was the fact that there were this many schools lining up to try to get him.
Holding called against the Greyhounds.
With essentially 1 year wasted of his development.
Yeah, and you know what? That injury happened like the week before everybody was supposed to come see him throw, because he was kind of a quiet recruit. Houston was on top of him. Alabama and a couple others, Tennessee, were on top of him. But, you know, the Texases and the A&Ms and the Baylors, everybody was supposed to come see him throw the next week. And then he had the labrum injury playing baseball. And so he's still got all the offers. And as we said earlier, he'll be leaving in December to enroll early and go through spring football. Nice throw there out into the flat, wide open, and Davis takes it across the 45. Another, you know, it looks like an easy throw because it went to the sidelines, but that ball went 30 yards.
Yeah, and there was some miscommunication, obviously, on Antonian's side. And again, I think for the most part, their defense has stepped up and played a whale of a ball game, considering how this team, Boerne, spreads you out. I mean, they've been on the field a lot, especially in this second half, and I think they made a pretty nice accounting for themselves, all things being equal.
Eli Davis with 6 catches for 122 yards. It's an Affiliated Mortgage first down. Dormady straight drop, caught right on the money again. Davis stumbles short of the 20. But again, he's had a few misses, Chuck, tonight, but all in all, not only does he, when he does hit a receiver and make a reception, he puts it right on the outside shoulder, the right shoulder, the correct. He doesn't throw it behind people, he doesn't throw it low, he doesn't throw it high. He's missed a few, but I mean, when he completes them, he's putting them right where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, and he's been virtually perfect in this second half.
Who says Boerne doesn't run the football? Nick Novak going into the Six Flags Fiesta Texas red zone.
Well, sophomore getting some action tonight. Again, we spoke about the fact that Boerne is missing their top 2 running backs, and both of these teams are dealing with the injury bug here in the 3rd week of the season, 4th week of the season. I mean, it's just one of those situations where, you know, you hope you're a little bit more healthy going in when you start playing the big games and your district games, but you know, both of these teams having to deal with a little bit of that here early on in the season.
Another slant route, and Dormady mad at himself because he air-mailed that one a little bit and slapped his hands in disgust after he missed the throw. Yeah, I really wanted fans to see Daniel Rosenfeld tonight because he's a special back. He reminds you of one of those thick, bulldozing Nebraska running backs.
Yeah, a kid
Rex
that's been
Burkhead type running back.
And been a contributor early on in his career at that school.
Nick Novak runs the ball on 2nd and goal.
And then Rosenfeld, number 2 in his class on top of it.
When I saw the numbers he was putting up last year as a sophomore, I just absolutely couldn't believe it. And Van says he's the real deal. There he is right there. He's got to be upset. He sprained his ankle pretty severely last week, and they had him stay off of it for 4 days is what they said. So he didn't practice most of the week. And then he told coach he's feeling pretty good. I'm going to give it a go. And then today, 1 carry, and that's pretty much it. Dormady fires, though a little bit behind to Snelling. Incomplete on 3rd and goal. I think he was hoping Snelling would take that route on into the end zone, and so Coach Dormady will try another field goal attempt and let Kyle Herbst try to put 3 more on there.
Now, this should be a layup for this kid with the leg he's got and the wind at his back.
6:40 to play for Herbst. That was a line drive, but it's through. And the Boerne Greyhounds add to their lead. 34-0 here at Boerne Independent School District Stadium. Thursday Night Lights, brought to you by Church's Chicken, continues in a moment. Welcome back to Church's Chicken Thursday Night Lights. It's 34-0 Boerne over Antonian. Got about 6 minutes to play here. Gorgeous night for football in Boerne, Texas. It's been all Greyhounds. You're looking at the UIW Smile Cam. Smile, there you go. Earn a degree of difference at the University of the Incarnate Word. Greyhounds will kick it off. Kyle Herbst, the kicker. Antonian looking for a spark. Want to get on the board. Tough to do without their star running back, and Herbst has a big leg, has the wind behind him, and kicks that one right out of the end zone. Hey, want to tell you about the Vulcan Materials Company $2,500 band grant. Told you at halftime. If you want to vote for Antonian, text band 7 to 45203. Boerne, band 8 to 45203. It's all based on votes. You can help a local school take home $2,500. They'd love that. Saw Boerne got new uniforms. That's what they need this stuff for. Vulcan Materials Company, helping local bands in the area. All right, Peyton Bryan trying to get the Apaches going. Turns and tosses. Got some room. And that's Connor Shackles, the sophomore, who's had a couple carries already tonight.
Yeah, and he's run hard. He's been given an opportunity here late in this ball game, and we've seen him on 3 or 4 carries, and he runs with not only great vision, but he's one of those young guys that likes to take on a few blockers, and when he finishes strong and he falls forward. And I know that's something the coaches like to see.
Blake Barton on the tackle. 2nd down and 1. Another turn, another handoff. It's Shackles, who runs hard again, gets the 40-yard line.
And a nice low center of gravity, as you see. He runs low. Kind of hard to hit because he makes himself a really tough, hard-moving target. Makes himself small in there.
That's an Affiliated Mortgage first down. Yeah, he runs low, runs hard. And he's not very big, so there's not much to hit.
Yeah, I think you're seeing a couple of playoff teams here, Don, and it's going to be interesting to see where these teams end up at the end of the year. You know, last year we talked about Antonian was a 2nd-place finisher in their district, had a nice playoff run, and then, you know, Boerne, if they stay healthy, I mean, we talked about how tough their new district is and all the traveling and all the goofy things they're going to have to do this year in terms of things that they probably haven't had to do a whole lot of before. But, I mean, this is one of those teams, if they can stay healthy, especially in the key spots, they're going to be just fine. Not infinitely deep. Only got about 15 or 16 seniors, but if they can keep the bulk of those skill guys healthy, I mean, they're going to be a pretty good team to watch come into the year.
This is why Van Fushak is a true pro. Been around a long time, knows what he's doing. This game, he's not coaching this game for this game. He's coaching this game for next game, and Bracken Garcia comes in at quarterback. Shackles had 3 carries in a row. He's building sophomores for the future. He's building his backup quarterback for the rest of this district schedule in case Peyton Bryan were to go down. He's preparing his squad to play next week.
And you talk about an adjustment that he's had to make, Don. I mean, all those years coaching in Northeast, you get a chance to see what you have at the middle school level and you know what you have coming. That's been the biggest adjustment for Coach Fushak, is that he doesn't know what he has until those kids show up on campus. I mean, it's a totally different thing, almost like coaching on the fly.
Yeah, and numbers is a huge difference. You're going to have good athletes, but you just don't have the huge numbers of them. Hey, time for our College of Healthcare Professionals Defensive Play of the Game, brought to you by the College of Healthcare Professionals. And that's the pick 6 by Jared Graybill in the second quarter. So he took that to the house, and really Boerne never looked back after that play, showed some speed. And we talked so much about the Boerne offense tonight, but Graybill really helped set the tone, and that is our College of Healthcare Professionals Defensive Play of the Game. Bracken Garcia turns and hands to Shackles, who is brought down. Good penetration up there by number 70, Alec Flores. Nice tackle there. All right, we'll turn it over on downs. It's all Boerne. 4:10 to play here in Boerne, Texas. Welcome back. It's all Boerne. 4th quarter time. The Greyhounds have it back. Hey, we've told you about our U.S. Army All-American Bowl San Antonio Sports All-Star Game Cheer Challenge, brought to you by CPS Energy. Don't forget to vote, because voting starts today. Go to sanantoniosports.org/cheer. 8 local cheer squads will get a chance to be on national television. So vote, because it begins today.
Well, you have a quarterback change, Don, and look what happens on the very first play.
Well, you know, Chuck, I was going to say.
False start called against the Greyhounds.
Boerne has called off the Dogs, but I didn't want to have a pun there with the Greyhounds. They've called off the Dogs, and they've inserted their backup. Will McClure moves from receiver to quarterback.
Yeah, and Will McClure, you know, one of those kids, as you said. I mean, he was the backup quarterback. They moved him outside because Cole Dunaway broke his leg. He was one of those receivers that they were really going to count on this year. It looks like he might be done for the year, but you know, we talked about it at the beginning, Don. Snelling, Eli Davis, some of these guys outside were going to have to step up. They had a little bit of a hiccup last week. They got buried on both sides of the ball, but those guys have done that tonight. McClure's done a nice job. All those receivers, and we haven't even talked about the fact that Maverick Terry, their star running back who also plays safety, he's got a bum ankle, so he was going to be limited tonight, playing mostly on the other side of the ball. But they've got a lot of sophomores on this team. The depth isn't probably where they want it, but guys like Sosa, Bernal, Colton Taylor have really stepped up on the defensive side of the ball. And, hey, give them their props. I mean, we've been talking about the quarterback all night, but anytime you go into a high school football game and your defense has got a big goose egg up there for the other squad, I mean, that tells you that Boerne has got a pretty nice team.
Yeah, nice squad all the way around tonight. Pitched a shutout on defense. Really impressed with an array of receivers. A lot of kids that kind of look the same. Davis and Snelling and McClure, and just a lot of targets for their quarterback to go through too. And pretty even in the stats. McClure with 3 catches for 40 yards. Snelling 7 for 88. Finch had 2 catches for 10. Of course, Davis leading everybody tonight with 8 catches for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns. Boerne running out the clock, running the football. We're almost under 3 minutes, 3:12, and they stopped the clock.
And you can tell this is a pretty tight-knit group, and it really has been, Don, since Dormany was a sophomore on this team. I want to tell you this little story that Coach was telling me earlier this week. He said he had a young man that was playing quarterback in front of Quentin as a sophomore, and then the starting quarterback got hurt, but he saw what was going on with Quentin in the ball game, and when he was ready to return from injury, this kid's name was Luke Halbert, and he told Coach, man, I just want to win, and I can see that Quentin is the better QB. I'll go wherever you put me, Coach. I mean, how many kids would you have, especially a senior, and that young man's at Tech, and Coach Dormany had nothing but praise for this young man and the kind of kid he is. He said he'd make a heck of a coach, but he'll probably go out and do something else. He's, you know, probably one of those guys that can make a ton of money doing whatever he wanted to do, and probably has better things to do than coach, even though you and I both agree what a admirable profession being a head coach or just being a coach is. But, you know, they have that kind of kid here. This is a really tight community, and I don't know what's in the water out here, but seemingly every sport, you talk about Boerne Champion, even the private school out here is very, very talent-laden with athletes, and it doesn't matter the sport.
I think it starts with their athletic director, Stan Leach, who's one of the finest men I've ever known. Just outstanding basketball coach at Boerne Champion, but also the athletic director for the district, and Stan is salt of the earth. He's going to do things the right way. He's going to hire the right people who have the best interest in kids at heart. Kimball McCone, the basketball coach at Boerne High School, was Stan's assistant at Champion before, or at Boerne before they built the new school. And so everybody in the district is just quality people, solid human beings. Hey, we're going to take a look at some of the games coming up on Thursday Night Lights next week. Jay against O'Connor. Both those teams in action tonight. O'Connor, one of the better teams on the TNL top 10. They're ranked. Then we're going to get to see the new stadium, the new Alamo Stadium. Give you a chance to plug our stat man, Mark Lieberman, who's up here doing a great job. If you haven't seen his time-lapse photography of the renovation at Alamo Stadium, make sure you check out Lieberman's blog. It's fantastic, and we'll be back there again for McCollum and Brackenridge. And Chuck, you and I had a promo shoot there earlier before the season, and what a great job they did.
They really did, Don. I mean, it's amazing. I always thought the place looked good even when it was wearing out, but obviously they had some issues, and I think everybody in that entire school district should be glad that their money was being well spent. I mean, what a knockout job people building that place up did.
Yeah, fantastic. They're just trying to kick it away, and little controversy there at SAISD during that whole thing about trying to rip out the track after the voters had voted the bond to keep the track for the kids, and they got it right. The track stayed thanks to Gil Garza, who's moved on to the Dallas Independent School District. They kept the track, and which was good for all the students in the SAISD, and they put up a state-of-the-art scoreboard, video board that's probably, said, second in the state in size. And boy, it just, the turf, stands, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Gil Garza, Coach Garza, just as a whole. I mean, when we were starting Thursday Night Lights, I mean, he was one of the first guys on board. He was like, if you can't find teams, we'll provide one for you every week. I mean, that kind of guy, and really understood early on the value of being able to showcase a school from your district, and you know, the love that you give not only the football team, but the bands and the pep squad and all that other stuff. I mean, it's a lot of fun doing these games. I'm having a lot more fun doing them than I thought I might when we started.
What are you saying, Chuck? You didn't want to work with me?
Wasn't that at all, my buddy. I didn't think I was going to be able to do this, man. I like baseball. I don't, you know, my knowledge of football is, to say it's limited would be an understatement, but I'm having a good time, though.
You know, I feel the same way. It's just being around high school football, being out on a stadium on a Thursday or Friday night is just, especially in the state of Texas, there's nothing like it. All right, Shackles running tough again, takes a lick and keeps on going. We're under a minute to play, and that might do it.
Tell you what, 20's earned himself a couple more carries next week with the way he's going. He's going to feel that one tomorrow, but that kid's having a heck of a night and has really showed up. Our stat guy Mark saying 9 carries, 35 yards.
He runs hard. You know, he's not a big kid, but again, he's only a sophomore. He's going to grow. He's going to put weight on, and Van Fushak's got to be saying, you know what? When Rosenfeld's gone, I got a kid who I can put in there the following year. Because remember, Daniel Rosenfeld, who, again, we haven't seen tonight except for 1 carry, he's only a junior. All his numbers and hype came as a sophomore. And you'll hear much more about him as the year goes on when he gets healthy. That's going to do it. The clock strikes 0, and the Boerne Greyhounds are your Church's Chicken TNL champs for this week anyway. Winners tonight, 34-0 over Van Fushak's Antonian Apaches, who admittedly were shorthanded tonight without their best player. Still a lot of fun to watch the recruit who lived up to the hype, and we saw great athletes from both sides. Core of receivers at Boerne, stable of running backs at Antonian. Both teams represented themselves with class, as both programs are, and a lot of fun out here tonight in Boerne, Texas. Our final score, Boerne 34, Antonian nothing. When we come back, we'll present our Monarch Trophy to our player of the game, and we'll hand away the TNL Trophy to the Boerne Greyhounds. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to the Church's Chicken Postgame Report, presented by Baptist Emergency Hospital.
Welcome back. Boerne over Antonian tonight, 34-0. Our banner play of the game, well, it could have been one of the many completions by Quentin Dormady, who was 22 of 37 for 321 yards, but this was one of his better throws of the night. Right over the middle to Eli Davis, set up a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, 321 yards, 383 total yards, and 3 total touchdowns. So, David Chancellor, I'm shocked at who our player of the game might be.
Yes. Yeah, I actually asked the producer a while ago, I said, who is it? And he basically said, duh, it's 12. Before we get to the player of the game, talk to the coach, talk to the Greyhounds, I just love this community out here. If we can spin around and check out the folks and the kids and everybody waiting, they're going to, I can tell you what's going to happen. As soon as we're done, the players over here are going to go over there and they're going to high five. As for the Greyhounds themselves, I just got one question. So this is what you do in Boerne on a Thursday night? Wow, 34 zip. Hey, congratulations. We're going to give away a Player of the Game trophy, and then we're going to give away the game trophy to your coach. Where's 12? Where's 12? Come on up. Come on up. You know, he's wearing his helmet, but I could see him roll his eyes thinking, I don't want to do this. This is not about me. So my first question will be about your defense. 34-0. What did that mean that they pitched the shutout?
Well, it's huge. I mean, they've been playing great all year. This is the best defense that we've had since I've been here, and it's good to have a defense that'll back the offense up.
What changed for you, or did anything change for you in the second half? You looked, for me, it looked like you were a completely different player in the second half than you were at times in the first.
Yeah, we just settled in, and I settled in. I was getting kind of antsy and forcing some things, but like I said, we settled in. The defense obviously didn't let them score, so that's always good.
A couple of TD throws, over 300 yards passing, a touchdown run. Saw you come up a little bit limping. What can you give any sort of injury update there?
Yeah, I just was tweaking my ankle, so I'm good.
I don't know the rules here. I don't know what I can ask, so I'm going to ask, and if you just answer if you can. Was it nerve-wracking? There's two gentlemen over to your shoulder wearing orange jerseys. We've shown them a whole bunch on television tonight. Was that strange to have the guys from Tennessee here?
No, it was good. I just, like I said, I started out like I didn't want to, but I mean, we settled in as a team and then played really good in the second half.
Congratulations, humble to a fault. It's going to be a lot of fun watching you on Saturdays. Player of the game, Quentin Dormady, big congratulations. Let's bring in the head coach, who, as you guys also know, happens to be a dad. Let me ask you, Coach, that shutout, that pick six early in the game, what did that do, set the tone for this win tonight?
That was huge. We needed to get started fast, and that's what we did tonight. And I'm excited for these guys because last week we stubbed our toe just a little bit, and then this week we came back, defended our turf here, and we came out and played hot. I like it.
Can you talk about that, about the rebound and being on television on a Thursday night against a really good Antonian team that you guys have had some battles with the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's come down to the last drive of the game the last 2 years, you know, so we challenged our guys. You know, we had to go back to the basics this week, and we just did a great job at practice. And when things go bad, because there's a chance for adversity, you know, we didn't execute offensively early and defensively stepped up, and we didn't let the momentum turn the tide real big. So we came back and we battled, and I'm proud of these guys, just the effort they put in all off season to get ready for this.
I know you live this, your family lives this on a day-to-day basis and have for years, but for our viewers that are just watching you and your son and your team for the first time, how difficult, or is it even difficult for you to switch and go back and forth mentally and emotionally, maybe during a game, from dad to coach?
Well, you know, if you ask Quentin, I'm crazy most of the time. So it's not, I don't think it goes back and forth. When we're in the game, you know, I don't separate that. I'll go and enjoy that and look at it tomorrow and look at it with a different eye. But I'm here trying to have all 60 of these guys win a football game. And so trying to separate the two is tough. I'm just as hard on him as I am everybody else. So
it's been a lot of fun, and a lot of respect to you and your staff for the job that you did. I will give this to you, and you pass this along to your boys. Congratulations, guys. The Boerne champion, or the Boerne Greyhounds champions tonight, 34-0 over Antonian. We'll go back up to you guys.
Thanks, Dave. You can't say Boerne champion and Boerne, you won't get out of here alive.
That was a good save, though.
He did make it. It was smooth, right?
Very.
The champions. Very nice. It was all Quentin Dormady tonight and his core of receivers, including Eli Davis, who had just as big of a game. And, of course, that young man right there, early in the ball game, that, as Coach Dormady said, that really set the tone. Jared Graybill with that pick six. Dormady said he settled down, Chuck, and after he threw those two early picks, it was a totally different kid in the second half.
No, indeed it was. And, again, you got to give your hat, tip it to Antonian. I mean, making some really big plays. They were challenged tonight, obviously, with this offense, but did a really nice job in the first half, and then just kind of wore out in the second.
Who says Boerne doesn't run the ball? They actually led the rushing yardage totals. Dormady throwing for 321. They had 433 total yards. It's just complete domination, 22 first downs. But as you know, Chuck, Antonian will be heard from in their district, and they'll be a different team when Roosevelt comes back.
Without a doubt. Not having Rosie in the lineup tonight, I mean, that's a huge cog for them in terms of moving the football, and I think they held him out. They've got some big games, some big district games coming up, and there was no reason to run him out here tonight if he was even 50-50.
All right, Antonian, our first private school ever to be on Thursday Night Lights. Fun to have them on here. Fun to make a road trip and be out here in Boerne, Texas. The Greyhounds, athletic director Stan Leach, great host tonight as Boerne wins it 34-0. Now, again, next week we're going to have Jay and O'Connor. Looking forward to that one. Have some fantastic ball games all season long. Don't forget to check out High School to the Max tomorrow night on Fox, and Friday Night Fever with David Chancellor on News 4 San Antonio. Nobody has more high school football coverage than Sinclair San Antonio with Fox 29 and News 4 San Antonio. For Chuck McIntyre, David Chancellor, Mark Lieberman here in the booth, and a cast of thousands. We'll see you next week on Thursday Night Lights on the CW35.